Well, that's the red light, gentlemen. That means we're live. We are here, and it's that time of year again. It is officially Wrestlemania time. I mean, we've been in Wrestlemania season for about a month now, but we are less than 2 weeks away from this year's Wrestlemania. And tonight, good brothers, we're going to reflect back on some of our favorite Wrestlemania moments. So if you have joined us, kick back, relax, and enjoy the show, because tonight we take a trip down memory lane as we get ourselves ready for WrestleMania by discussing our favorite WrestleMania moments right after this.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes! What you gonna do? 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 What you gonna do?
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Alrighty.
When you hear the woo, you know what that means.
Yes, sir.
It means that
We're
Brian
back.
H.
It's
in
Wednesday
the
night.
building.
You know what that means.
Brandon, the guy, is in the building. And of course, yours truly, the realist himself, the real Dwayne Allen, is in the building. And welcome to another special episode of the Wrestling Wrealm.
Oh, he froze.
Now podcast.
Yes.
Awesome.
You know, I was like, who's gonna pick it up?
All right, so the internet is interneting tonight. So welcome to the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast, brought to you by Brian H. Waters, the real Dwayne Allen, and brother Brandon, the guy. Brandon, how you feeling?
Not too bad. How about yourself there, brother?
I'm good.
You know you can watch.
There he is.
You know you can watch the flagship show, the Wrestling Wrealm, and other shows such as the Wrestling for the Culture, Break It Down with Brian H. Waters, and other content at any time on youtube.com/Wrestling Wrealm. Don't forget the realm with the W, right? Where, who did you say breaks it down, Brian?
Yeah.
Is he back? Or is he still frozen?
No, I'm back.
He-
I was enjoying the
Okay.
intro. No, this is good. I came right back into logistics. This is great. I'm on IG Live right now while we're doing the show. Like it's two people watching me right now. Go ahead. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Continue. This was getting good. I didn't mean to freeze up.
So you can watch the Wrestling Wrealm with a W, where myself, the real Dwayne Allen, and
That's
Brian H. Waters
That's
educate and give you a different perspective on so many things in the world of professional wrestling. Now, you do realize that the man to my top left might be your right, depending on how you're looking at us. His name is the real Dwayne Allen. We got brother Brian H. Waters and myself, Brandon, the guy. Also known sometimes as the Belt King, sometimes known as just the guy, whatever you want to call me. You can follow us on social media, all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at The Wrestling Wrealm. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and engage in the conversations when we do have live chats. And if you like us, guess what? It's a chance we'll like you back too. So join us then. And you can also stream and download all of the audio content on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. You can watch us on subscribe on Twitch channel at The Wrestling Wrealm. Trust me, you don't want to miss it, because when Brian H. Water busts out that Nintendo 64, it's definitely a treat.
It's been a while, but I've been actually on WWE 2K 2K23. I haven't gotten the full creative juices yet. I always like to play the showcase mode, because the showcase really like teaches you how to play the game, as far as like the tasks that they have you do, just really get you used to the buttons. So, but once I do, then I'm eventually create the Wrestling Wrealm and have us individually on the game, and we'll take over the bloodline. But right now, I did create the belt, so y'all can go to the Instagram page and see. I created my belt to the best I could as far as video game-esque But
Yeah, I said he created version 1. I was like, look at Brian Waters go. He created version 1.
if there are any people out there who are game creators and you want to just like donate your time and create the Wrestling Wrealm, by all means, let us know. We'll give you credit.
But like, create this.
Yeah, I was talking to Jay Bougie the other day. Shout out to him. He had a knockdown drag out with Khan. Came up just a little bit short. Just a little bit. But Caprice Coleman told
he earned his respect, though. That's the most important part.
He earned his respect, and Caprice Coleman put him over on commentary, told him, you were going to be a champion. Stay clean and stay the course. So, you know, a good brother who's a good friend of the program. Me and Caprice actually talked some quartet the other day on Twitter. But, you know, I told him, I said, man, you get your creative player yet? He said, nah, man, they slipping. So, you know, the content creators out there, the geniuses, if y'all want to create us, you know, holla at us. Is the way stuck again?
I know. I keep looking at him, and it looks like he keeps getting frozen.
Yeah. Well, brother,
you know
Brandon.
why it's frozen? Because I mentioned the name.
Yeah, it's your fault. Let's just hop right in this real quick. So, what did you watch this week?
Tag teaming it up. And I've been sticking with WWE tag teams. Like, I went back in because you was in the WrestleMania spirit, but then I wanted to make sure I was still trying to stick within that WrestleMania spirit. So a lot of tag team matches, and I went back and watched. I didn't realize that the Bar was as good as they were. When they were like, they were good, but I'm like, they really, Sheamus and Cesaro definitely are good workers. Like, in the match where the Hardy Boys came back, them and Enzo Amore and Big Cass, they could only do but so much. But the Bar, and then the Good Brothers, they really carried that ladder match. That it was really like each spot felt like it was in the right place. It wasn't just spot fest. So I watched that, and then I went back and we'll get to that later. The other match, because it was another tag match that I had the date wrong, but I had to get to my WrestleMania Wikipedia page of Brian H. Waters. Correct. I've been in Ghosting tag teams this week.
Hey man, I said it earlier on the fan club. I'll say it again. I got a PhD in WrestleMania. That's something I hold dear to my heart as the real Dwayne Allen makes his return.
Good gosh.
He's making returns like his name is Edge.
Bro, I miss. Wow, that's a lot. I missed one show last week. Come back, and now I'm just having all these technical issues. It's all right though, because I'm on live. I'm talking to the people on Instagram Live. If anybody's even on here, but this is ridiculous, man.
Yeah. So, speaking of which, Dwayne, what did you watch this week?
Oh wow, you know what I got into this week. I went back and I was trying to gather as many WrestleMania moments as possible, and not just any WrestleMania moments. I'm talking about
it's Lynn.
Hey,
I was on his show, Honorary Realm member. I was on his show on Tuesday. He said, "There it is. The Honorary Realmer is here."
Welcome.
I've been trying to get booked on Lynn's show for like 2 months, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you talking about timing conflicts. Every time I'm free, something comes up. Every time he's free, something comes up. But we're gonna figure it out. And then when I finally get there, trust me, it's gonna be well worth it, man.
I can't wait.
Much love to you, Lane. We'll be calling on you soon, brother, after WrestleMania. Most people don't know this, but we will definitely start reaching out. We're gonna start our Wrestling Wrealm podcast party. Start bringing in some friends of the program and come join us on the show, man. Adding your 2 cents to the conversation per the usual. But speaking of adding something to the conversation, I was watching many WrestleManias, and you know one of my favorite things to do, gentlemen. One of my favorite things to do is to admire the lovely championship titles and how they have evolved from WrestleMania to WrestleMania to WrestleMania. You'd be surprised what happens in 1 year when it comes to the championship culture of professional wrestling. You like what I did there? See how smooth that was? Speaking of championship culture, ladies and gentlemen, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this, that coming soon, we told you that the Wrestling Wrealm is expanding, and Brother Guy has brought one of his biggest brands underneath the Wrestling Wrealm umbrella. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you, that's right, a whole new show, program brand underneath the Wrestling Wrealm banner, Championship Culture, featuring Brandon the Guy. Hit the applause button. See, that's usually the cue for the applause button. Like it's like, yeah, like, there we go. See that? That's all for you, sir. So there it is, the Bray Wyatt kid sound.
Do all the what?
That's the Bray Wyatt kid sound. You know, it's from the Firefly
House.
Yeah. So like I said, that one of the things I've always enjoyed over the years is the championship titles. Like, I'm particular about gear and I'm particular about titles, but there's no one that I know personally outside of maybe a handful, like Corey Saunders, my kicks and my fix, that are that particular when it comes to championship titles. But you, brother Brandon the guy is. So tell the people a little bit about championship culture before we dive into today's show and we get into our favorite WrestleMania moments, which features so many of those titles. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching the show right now, let me explain to you what just happened. Brandon,
I'm just gonna keep matching them belt for belt.
Listen, first of all, brother Brandon and Bryan have a belt off, but the first title that brother Bryan grabbed was the Winged Eagle. It's a championship that brother Brandon respects, but for some reason is just not a huge fan of it. And for myself and Bryan, that's the title of our childhood. That's the Bret the Hitman Hart title. That's the Shawn Michaels title for me.
And who introduced it?
Macho Man Randy Savage. I refuse to give Hogan his credit for that.
Thank you.
Why? After WrestleMania 3.
It doesn't matter. I just feel like
Gorilla Monsoon specifically said that night there will be a new title now. They thought it was going to be the Andre belt. But
no.
Instead,
it was the Wing Eagle. It was Hogan.
This
but
beauty right here. And like Bret, he's the
wow.
That was the signature. I know we're gonna get to Brandon, but realness. I know you had a couple Winged Eagles as kids. I know you kissed the belt.
Of course, you kidding me?
You're a Bret Hart fan. You had
bro.
to.
I had those foam belts. Like,
come on. I know that's Queen PR. I didn't know Hogan debuted the belt. Come on now.
She blocked it out of her mind.
Well, brother Brandon, tell us a little bit about championship culture and why you decided to do this now. Like, if it's not obvious right now, if you're not watching this, there's a backdrop of nothing but championship titles behind Brandon the guy. And no,
nobody has more belts than him.
No, that is not a wallpaper, ladies and gentlemen. Those are legitimate. That is his passion.
Brandon, move one of them real quick, like just so people can see.
Just
yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, you can do that too. You see the 3D.
See that? That's only one side of the museum. It's not a room. It's a museum. But Brandon,
did you say it's not a room? It's a museum?
Part of my favorite WrestleMania moments are championship titles. You, my friend, are bringing championship culture to the Wrestling Wrealm. Tell us a little bit about your show. Tell us a little about what you want to do as far as championship culture is concerned, and just tell the people what they can expect going forward.
So the thing about championship culture is, if you think about it, every wrestler wants to be the champion, and every fan wants to hold a belt. How many times have you been somewhere and you've seen this belt, seen that belt? How many times did you want to buy a belt but don't really know what to start? You hear people say, oh, do I want to get the shop? Do I get a maker to do it? So championship culture will explore an array of topics on how to buy a belt, when to buy a belt, what's the difference in a belt, what's the difference in this belt versus that belt? Why do you have that belt in your collection? Why do you like that belt? What's the deal with the Winged Eagle? Why do you not like the Winged Eagle? Why do you like the Winged Eagle? Why do you hate the Winged Eagle? Who knows? It's going to give you a lot of those things. Working on a whole guest list so I can build in some other people from the belt world, get some other perspectives too. But mainly, the main thing is I want everybody to remember that every belt has a story. It's a reason that I have this issue with the Winged Eagle, and I'm just going to say issue. But there's also an issue why I don't have an issue with the Winged Eagle. But stay tuned, because that's going to be probably a live debate with the most realest reactions ever, to take a pun from the real Dwayne Allen, between myself and Brian H. Waters, because we have a love-hate, can't stand relationship with the Winged Eagle. But championship culture.
I love you. What you talking
about?
Yeah,
I didn't say who. I just said we have one. So be on the lookout for championship culture. We'll be debuting, and never know where I'll be. And I might hit that live button, and then we might go live and talk about some wrestling belts. I have solicited some people from certain belt groups, so they can talk some belts with us too. So,
man, I'm excited. I can't wait for that, man. It's a conversation that we've had for years, man. So I'm excited to have you a part of the brand, and just to bring your whole knowledge and expertise when it comes to championship belts. title replicas, and just everything that comes along with it to the wrestling realm. It's just actually just keep on switching out all the belts that I wish I had in my personal possession. But it's okay though, because I'm gonna live vicariously through you.
And this one just so has a story, and be ready for that story. There is a signature.
Wow.
Wait,
Okay.
which belt? Hold on, I have to switch screens real quick.
That's the Cody
If I
return
had-
title.
Yes. That's the
Cody-
so oh, man.
Let me quick question, Brian. If you have to choose one, are you getting scratch logo or are you getting the new gen logo of that white IC title? Tell the truth and shame the devil.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna get the scratch title.
Why you
Okay.
want the scratch?
Survivor Series 2011.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm definitely scratch title because I feel like that's what it represents the most. I feel in conflict with about that and the United States title too, the original one before the one we have now. I'm like, okay, so if I were to get one, which one would I get? You see how you just say a title?
Oh,
He got
did you
both.
say scratch
magically?
or which logo did you want? Did you want the scratch logo?
Well, see, yes, as a matter of fact, if you do have it, I would like to see the scratch logo version, please.
Okay.
I mean,
The
well,
scratch
goddamn
logo
it.
has a permanent banner around it because
Okay.
the night that he won this belt, I
TF.
was compelled to support him, and I brought it, and that's why I had signed it, as you can see.
True, obviously.
Whoa, Benjamin Walker. Thanks for watching.
Oh,
Wow.
Ben.
See, there we go.
See?
There's shenanigans.
So
This
this
is
belt is usually displayed like this, only because he actually signed this as well. So I
Okay.
actually have a picture of myself and Matt Cardona, and he was holding the Intercontinental and US belt, and he let me hold his new version of his internet title. So
Nice.
that's actually coming soon. But he did sign scratch logo for me.
Man, listen, that is dope. Oh, I don't know if you see the comments, Brandon, but we got a lot of people that are just kind of like just definitely showing you support and for their favorite titles and such. So if you want more of this content, please tune in. Championship Culture is coming to the Wrestling Realm on all platforms. It's not just a show; it's coming to every platform. The conversations, we're talking reels, we're talking shorts, we're talking shows, we're talking live. So look, Brian, I don't think you want to do this with him. I'm just saying.
I know that. I'm agreeing with Lynn.
Okay.
The current US
see
title.
how fast he is, though. See how fast?
Yeah.
Like he hadn't even had to go across the room yet.
Well, see, the thing is, I'm gonna tell you what I'm excited about this show.
What you
Okay.
excited about? I'm sorry.
Wow. He just see how he went global with one United States championship to another United States championship.
The reason I'm excited is because I know, like, me and Brandon have done the compare and contrast, right? Like with the Brandon's favorite belt,
Right.
the undisputed title, and he showed me like small details in the differences. So I'm excited for the fans to get to know that, especially ones who want to be belt collectors. And I don't say want to be, I'm saying who would like to become belt collectors. I'm gonna make sure I choose the words right. Who would like to become belt collectors? You know, we want people to get a good education.
Absolutely.
I remember when I said to Brandon, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get this belt. What do you want this? I'm like, whoa. All right, whatever. I just you handle that for me, you know.
Right.
So that's
And that's pretty much how the conversation went.
Yeah, that's all. That's what I'm excited about. That people will get those education. Because I've seen a lot of bootlegs, and in person, and you feel bad but you don't want to shame nobody for having a belt. But it's like you could have maybe, and a lot of times the people are spending more money for the bootleg. So you know, people get excited. Man, I found this belt on eBay for $120, and I remember, you know, we was talking with Brother Corey, and he's like, no. You know, and one time I seen a belt on, I think, Facebook Marketplace. It was, matter of fact, it was I call it the Daniel Bryan WWE Championship, the one The Rock debuted, and I sent it to Corey. This was like years ago. He's like, bro, it doesn't have such and such. I was like, got it. So you know, that's what I'm excited about, because that one. Thank you, Brandon. People
see how he just keeps. Where's he getting this stuff from? Why are they that close to him where he just pulls them up like that? Look, and then half of them are signed.
This one isn't signed. I'm listening, so I'm with you.
No, listen, I'm excited. Like I said, as you can see, man, this is just a preview of the type of conversations that we'll continue to have with Brandon, and that he'll continue. I'm looking forward to just the many guests that you're probably going to bring on, and I think that's what we do here at the Wrestling Wrealm is we try to educate fans. We don't just want to go in and rant and rave and tell people how we feel. It's not a therapy session. We just try to help them understand why we do what we do. And I think it's an amazing area. It's one of those things, man. Like it's like a Queen PR from those wrestling girls. She just kind of alluded to it. She said like it makes you holding that title makes you feel like a champion. And for someone like myself and many others, well, you're not gonna get a chance to be a part of the business in that way. When I hold that title, that's my opportunity to be a part of it and at least feel like a champion, even if it's just for a moment.
Can I tell a story real quick?
By all means.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell a story. So after WrestleMania 28, I brought this to school, right? I brought the Winged Eagle to school. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people was like, oh man, let me hold the belt, let me hold it, let me see, whatever, right? Then you had people sitting there, I don't understand how you pay all that money for a championship belt. Now, if y'all know the real Dwayne Allen,
this is not gonna be a positive story, ladies and gentlemen. Anytime it starts off that way, I'm in trouble.
If y'all know him, one thing he ain't gonna take is slander of any goddamn thing, as he would say. So he goes, what do you mean you don't understand? That's the culture. But no, man, that's just crazy. No, it's not crazy. This is championship. This is wrestling culture. The same way you spend money on tennis shoes, same way people spend money on belts.
That's exactly what I said.
Exactly. I don't even know. I was like, I didn't even remember the story. But yeah, he went in, and I'm one to tell people, I don't buy titles at like WrestleMania. They're gonna have the superstore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless if I was one that I wanted the Snoop Dogg belt, yeah, I would buy that one. I'm like, what is that? Oh yeah, but anyway, I would buy that one, right? Or if there was a certain belt, I would buy that. But if it's like picking up this, no, go on WWE.com. They're gonna have that sale every week. For that sale, yeah.
Bingo.
Mo Eaton said it best one time. He was doing like a live during the pandemic. He said,
get another one.
Yeah, get your price in your head and wait for it to get to that price. It'll happen, So, and that's the one thing I always try to pass on to people. Like, if you can, because most of the time, I get it. You might be in the mode. Like, you see a lot. They sell a lot of belts during that week. People be so happy, and I'm like, man, y'all just spent all that money on belts, but it's cool.
No, it's gonna be 40% off that night. Like 40% off all titles. Head over to WWEshop.com now.
I remember Money in the Bank, y'all. Money in the Bank 2020. That's when I bought the WWE Championship 2013 version because it was 50% off or something like that. And I was like, what? And I just vividly remember it being Money in the Bank because it was like cashing in. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely, and I was conflicted. Like, do I get the current title or the one from before? Because one was $199, the other's $299. I said, well, shoot, I can get this one for $199. I can wait to get the other one. When I got that one, I think I paid, because it would always come down to $299. So it would go down like $320 as I'm not spending more than what it was. So when I finally got that one, it was like $280 something.
And seeing that information like that is something that I wish all belt people had, because I was fortunate enough to have people like Ben Walker. You can find them on Facebook under the Championship Belt Brothers, Jermaine Floyd, Tony Thorpe, Nando Torres. A lot of these guys were just lending out information, especially Ben. Ben will be like, hey, go to this maker. Oh, yeah, I got this one for you. And then you knew what you were getting because he didn't recommend anybody unless he knew for sure. And he would call them out. If it wasn't right, he would go live and call out the maker. And it was something as simple as this belt's supposed to have stitching on it. This belt should have this, or this isn't this way. And I learned a lot from those guys. And so that's why I'm excited for a championship culture, because now I get to pass on what I know so that way other people won't make mistakes. And especially I say, wait for a sale. Wait for a sale on WWE Shop. If that's your way to go, please wait for a sale.
And before, with all that being said, before we move on to I guess the main event of our show, because we're gonna kick back, brother, and we're gonna relax and we're gonna do what we always do, like Realm style, and we're gonna have this conversation about our favorite WrestleMania. But before we do that, before we
talking about that comment right there.
Oh, well, hold on. What? There it is, right there. Lynn, yeah. Lynn says, "See, yeah, I don't have any belts, and I want to get some. This is good info. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna definitely tap in when I get my belt. I need that current U.S. title and the big gold. See, that's what I'm saying. This is exactly why we got Brother Brandon to do this type of thing. But before we move on to WrestleMania and we stop talking about championship belts, Brian, do you want to reveal to the world your very first replica WWE Championship belt? Because he's so ashamed of it. I went to his crib one day. It was sitting in the basement. So he got a few more belts, and it was sitting in the corner in his basement. I'm like,
I don't have it.
See, that's
you
the
don't
shame.
have it.
What did you do with it? It doesn't even matter. The side plates broke off.
It's where the other 11 are.
No,
coming soon.
No, can you tell? Can you tell the people what was your first?
The ECW Championship. That was a commemorative edition. Pay $69 for it on what's AJ's belts.
Superstore.
No, AJ's belts.
No, you got it. I thought you got it from Wrestling Superstore.
I got the
Figures Inc., right?
No, I got the Intercontinental Championship from Wrestling Superstore.
Oh,
the classic IC10.
Look at that. All these years I had it backwards. I could have swore you got that from
I thought he got it from Wrestling Superstore too.
I thought he got it from Wrestling Superstore.
Because they were the ones putting it on sale at that time, right?
Wait, I'm tripping. I was always on AJ. You're right. I'm tripping. It was
okay. So what? I thought it was because I remember it was on sale. Like it was.
That's the reason why I bought it. It was
like $80. It was like $80, something like that.
$69.99.
Yeah, that's what it was. And I said, bro, get it. Like, and the crazy part is as much as I wasn't a fan of that version of VCW, it was cool in its own right because I like Mark Henry getting a run. I like Matt Hardy getting a run. I love that belt. And Brian H got it. Like he even let me hold it. Like I say, like you know what, Brian H upgraded eventually, and he got some, real straps. And I was like, hey man,
this is the first official replica.
In all fairness, when he got that, I was like, okay, well. All right.
I cashed in the Best Buy stock because I thought the company was going under. And when I was working there, I was like, because it was like I had like a certain amount and it kept dropping. I'm like,
and you know what? You got that off eBay?
Like $250. And that was with shipping because it was like $220. It was $250, and I talked the guy to $225. And then then when Corey came over a couple years ago, he's like, bro. That's the one. Like, hold on to that. Like, because it's it's got and I wanted the one with the WWF logo. So,
is yours got the white or the gold on it? Let me say it again.
This is gold.
Okay, good. We do have the same one. Okay.
Yeah, it's the gold one. So, but the leather.
Never sell, and I will never re-leather that belt.
Right. Man, I need to get my IC title back though. He said, "Damn, you cashed in on Best Buy." Yeah, but I mean, they always find a way to survive. So, but
and let me say this about the big gold real quick. Who was it that made the comment about the big gold, Brian?
Lynn.
So one thing about the big gold, I'm gonna say this, and this is going to be exclusive on, not exclusive. It's going to be one of the topics for championship culture. The big gold has so many variations. The one that you want might not be the one that you're about to buy. So make sure it's the one that you want, and it's the one that you know that you love, whether it be the Hulk, because there's a difference in the Hogan in WCW versus the Flair in WCW, Flair in NWA, WWE even different. It's a different version in all of WWE when they had the big gold. So please, all I can say is make sure that you get the one you want, because there's so many. When I say so many variations, there's a guy in one of the groups that I swear he has like 50 big golds, and they all are different. All of them.
Wow.
And it's like,
bro, you ain't lying. I think I've seen that before.
Yeah, it's so many variations.
If you find that picture, send that to me.
Yeah, I might look for it. He literally loves the big gold.
Very particular about which big gold I want. That's how crazy this is. First of all, you sparked up the conversation, brother guy. Everybody's going nuts about this one. Say, this is I know we on something. There's a very specific big gold that I want, right? It has it's the original size of the WCW one, because at one point when they were making the WWE replicas, the main plate was not as big as the original WCW version of it, right?
Correct.
And when they sold the WCW version of their World Heavyweight Championship of the big gold, it was completely flat. Now I come from the day, and I come from the generation, because we still have to talk about WrestleMania, where people were like, the plates were not 4mm, and people were curving their plates themselves, and they were using shaving cream to loosen up the leather, try to loosen up their belt. Yeah, so you remember those days, right?
Yes.
And I remember saying to myself, when WWE merged with WCW or acquired WCW, they had a slight curve in the side. I said I want that version. I looked up, and then when they made the WCW version again, because they made it and then they discontinued it, it came back, and I was like, I need I think it's I want to say a 2010 version or 2013 version. I don't know which one it is.
I think that one was 4mm back then, right? I think that's when they were doing the 4mm ones.
I think it was right before 4mm. Is that one right there? I think it's still 2, but it was different. But that was the only one that had a slight curve to it. But it was the WCW version, because usually the WCW version is completely flat, and then the World Heavyweight Championship, it has a slight curve to it. But I was like, no, I need that WCW one with it, because somebody did a belt review and they said, this is the one I got this year, and this is the one I just got recently, and there were 2 very distinctly different titles. And I was like, no, I want that version. So trust me, I look forward to all these conversations. But goodness gracious,
wait to hear the story of my big goal. It's gonna blow your mind.
I'm looking forward.
Were you there when I got it? I think Bryan I think you were there when I got my big gold, aren't you?
Mm-mm.
I know how you got that undisputed title,
right?
Yeah. Mr.
I remember he called me when he got it.
I used to pray for nights that somebody would sell me a replica championship for $20. But then Brother Brandon just gave me one, so I'm okay. Like I'm more than that's more than made up for his $20 undisputed title story. and then Brandon fake buys a Nintendo Wii controller and something else, so the guy wouldn't get suspicious. But I'm not gonna rest the story up. I'm gonna let him tell his own story. But these are the stories
that might get bumped up in the show order, because that was a classic story. That's
bro.
I remember because I called Bryan.
I
was like, and Bryan was like, no way. I was like, yeah, you don't understand.
You were at North Point Flea Market, right?
No, I was in the Joppa one.
Joppa, okay, yeah. That was the big one. Joppa was the big one.
Go, real talk, real quick. I'm watching WrestleMania 37, and I forgot Carmella and Billie Kay was a tag team.
Wow, I think everybody forgot Carmella and Billie Kay was a tag team.
Well, it's like you talked about going back and looking at belts, and I always it's always those hidden parts of WrestleMania that I forget. Like, did these people together, or this was a team, or that was a team, or this was the feud.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, man, with the big goal, I love the fan-do version. Like, I
like it, but it's too small for me.
Really?
It's it's the center plate is too small. I'm like, bro, this is not as big as I needed to be. Like, I want to feel like Sting in '97.
Got you. No, I feel you. And see, like the other one, the WWE shop, I got the Wolfpack version, and it's just feel flat.
Yep.
Where it's got that curve.
What I'm saying. Like that's how they used to differentiate that WCW version versus they will purposely make it flat. And I'm like, even like and the one I'm referring to, they kept calling it the Alliance version.
Oh, because it was the one that when Booker T brought it over.
It just had a slight curve. Like that's what it's called in the streets. Like people are like, oh no, this is the 2000 whatever version, the Alliance version of the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. And that's how it was always affectionately known in the streets or in the belt community as far as that championship title was concerned. But man, listen, WrestleMania has had plenty of title changes, and these championships are part of those moments. But I mean, today's show is about WrestleMania moments, man. WrestleMania is right around the corner. We're knocking at its door, and every year we expect to have a moment. But what is a WrestleMania moment, right? What makes it one of those situations, one of those matches, one of those occurrences that just kind of stand still in time, and it's something that you just never forget? And I think that's part of the spectacle of what WrestleMania is in comparison to all these other super shows that have kind of come across the world, and it's kind of transcended wrestling. At one point, you had a kind of a competition between a WrestleMania and a Starrcade. It's because these were two major shows by two major wrestling companies that featured bouts that kind of shocked the world, right? These moments that kind of caught the attention of the mainstream sports audience. And I think it's something that Vince McMahon Sr., oh God, I said his name. If my stuff starts glitching, you know why.
Talk to you later the way
But
he was
I
gonna
just
have.
might have signed off now. But he took pride in having these moments. That's why the rock and wrestling regime kind of came into me. That's why he had celebrities like Muhammad Ali and Liberace and the Rockettes at the first WrestleMania, along with Mr. T, you know, and Cindy Lauper. These are the moments that give fans these memories that kind of last a lifetime, right? So we're in WrestleMania. What WrestleMania is this? I lost count. What are we at? Where are we at now?
39.
39, right? We're in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is the time of year where we sit. It's like Christmas time. We sit back and we reminisce on our favorite holidays, our favorite Christmases of the past. Today we're going to reminisce on our favorite WrestleMania moments. What makes a WrestleMania moment for you, Brian? Tell the people what qualifies, what makes this moment, because you love WrestleMania now and nobody else does. What makes it special to you? What are the WrestleMania moments for Brian Ditchwater?
Well, it's funny because you took an analogy that I was getting ready to go with, right?
You see how
Christmas.
we transition?
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, like, with Christmas, everybody get like Christmas comes around the same time, but it's going to be different for everybody, right?
There you go.
The Super Bowl comes around, and while you have those moments that's always in the highlight packages, for individuals, there's going to be different moments. Like if say you have a family member who played in the Super Bowl and they made one tackle, that's going to be a moment. So the moments are always those things that stand out that make you want to go back during that time and say, you know, I want to watch this again. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I want to,
absolutely.
or when you watch it the first time, it's just like, wow. And it's something you can't stop talking about. When you sit with your friends, you're like, yeah, but did you see when this happened last night? And, you know, I'm excited because I've been creating WrestleMania content all week through the weekend. See Wrestling Wrealm on Instagram at Wrestling Wrealm. You'll see my favorite matches from every WrestleMania. You'll see my top 10 matches. You'll see what the realm, the fans were saying. But I got some moments that's not on none of them.
I'm looking forward to hearing this.
and I'm gonna shock people because it's like, you know, that's how much I like love WrestleMania, because it's so many hidden gems, but then there's also so many moments for me personally that I really enjoy.
It's funny you mentioned that. I think when people think about WrestleMania and you look at the wrestling of it all, that's kind of the obvious piece, and that's the most fun, and that's the reason why we show up to the building. That's why we show up at the WrestleMania parties. That's why we order the food like it's Super Bowl, and we kick back and enjoy ourselves this time of year. But there's so many other subtleties that come with the WrestleMania that also count as WrestleMania moments, right? For example, I'll give you one moment that's like an honorable mention, is because we don't have to go into detail about how minute the situation was, but do you remember the Miz's video package when he faced off against John Cena?
Absolutely.
See, look, brother Brandon came in just in time, right? That right there is a perfect example of what I mean by a WrestleMania moment, and it's salty, right? It's not something we can go home about, but it was something that was so impactful, it was so powerful that even as a heel, you were like, oh wow, Miz, I feel where you're coming from. Even his promo maybe the week before, when he talked about being kicked out of the locker room for spilling chicken on somebody's bag, being bullied, and now I'm here and I'm unapologetic. That, my friend, has always stood out in my mind. And I think I have not seen that replicated in any other space on a big event or big stage like WrestleMania, outside of something maybe like the NCAA tournament, is where sometimes where certain teams may have a Cinderella team and it may be a certain player or coach that kind of have a story, you know what I mean, that kind of they put out to the world that helps them kind of see things in a different light. And I feel the same way about WrestleMania moments. But brother Brandon, since you have returned, I was about to say Brian H, who wants to bet he's going to get reinforcement belts just in case when he's going to pull it, he's going to keep pulling title after title after title. But brother Brandon, what makes a WrestleMania moment special for you as a wrestling fan? You've been a fan for such a long time, and you've seen so many different WrestleManias, and we're in this new era of the Triple H era. Sprinkle that dust. What makes a WrestleMania moment to you?
When you can go back to that moment you were when you were watching it, like remember where you were sitting, remember everything about that moment that makes you say, it kind of like takes your breath away, like
Absolutely.
that. No matter what happened in the match, it's those moments that just make you say, even when you see the video package, you can sit there and be like, dang, I remember where I was when I saw that. I remember watching that. You know, oftentimes with the moments, it kind of overshadows the whole Mania or the whole match because you remember that thing that happened.
Mm-hmm. That's perfect.
That's what makes it for me. Just remembering that part.
I think we all have that thing in life that makes wrestling special to us for many different reasons, man. And I think we're blessed that we have an opportunity to have something like WrestleMania where everybody gets to come up and have those moments for themselves, right? You never know where someone is during that moment that they had, or what memory that's attached to it, or maybe it's a loved one, maybe it's a moment in time, maybe it's a simpler, all these things that make a difference. But with that being said, good brothers, let's get into it, man.
Because since we're not going to get into this part, but the reason why I want to put, because you took one of my moments was Dwayne when he said about the Miz, right? And because
I am so sorry.
Nah, the thing was,
I had no idea.
No, like reason why that's like one of my moments, because if you remember that feud, the Miz was like had to find his way in between The Rock and Cena. He had to find his way, but he was also, like you said, just being like the Miz was essentially was like us, right? He was that wrestling fan, and people didn't take him seriously. And then for them to use out of all songs, "You Can Hate Me Now,"
bro.
It was like everything. It was like, okay, now I'm here, And
but you know the crazy part about that as you mentioned it, as we do it in the realm, it was so crazy is because that song went perfectly with that, because he was on the Real World New York, back to New York, and to have one of the top New York artists of all time and Diddy, like it's like catching lightning in a bottle.
Hold up, time out. WWE edited the footage where Mandy Rose slipped.
That's that.
When she slipped down the ramp.
I literally just like rewinded it like twice because I was like, we doing the show, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, no, they really edited that. Like obviously the greatest stunner last year.
Yeah.
But like, it's just funny. Like, I didn't think they would do that.
She definitely took a tumble.
But
let's get into it, brothers. We'll start. We'll go rapid fire. What we'll do is we'll mention a moment, chat about it, and then move on to the next person, and then we'll go there. We'll get as many moments out till we can tire ourselves out, and it's time for us to go. Fans, buckle your seatbelts because we're going down memory lane. Hop in your DeLorean and hit 1985 because we're going back. Great Scott, Marty, it's your children. Anybody knows that Back to Future reference? Brother Brandon, WrestleMania moment. Talk to your boys. Just pick one. Just shoot like what? Just off the top, off the cuff. Favorite moment, whatever moment. Just pick one, and we're gonna run with it.
Rock versus Austin and the cheer shots.
Okay, boom. Now, where WrestleMania is this? We're talking
X7, right, Brian?
I knew Wrestle 17. I knew like that. You know the crazy part about that is, before you go in, Brother Brandon, it's probably my least favorite WrestleMania for the dumbest reasons, because The Rock had a stupid fade.
Like, I don't know your least favorite?
Least because he had a fade. I did not like his haircut. I was pissed. I did not like change.
Right.
I wanted The Rock to have the same Elvis haircut that he had in 98.
The same sideburns.
I was okay when he cut the pork chops and kind of rounded them off. It was still cool. But when he faded it out, I was like, bro, I'm done. But go ahead. Rock versus Austin, WrestleMania 17. I'm sure this is one of your moments too, Brian H.
But see, it was a moment for me because so we've seen that dance 1,000 times before, not literally, but figuratively.
Sure.
But in that moment when it was the whole heel turn and The Rock wouldn't give up, it was like, hold on, is this what he really doing? This man is siding with the devil, and he know he's got to beat The Rock, and they wanted to put that exclamation point, and it was just, and I say the chair shot because I vividly remember Austin just wailing on him. I'm like, oh, he's really laying it on thick. And now, after watching Young Rock, I have a more appreciation. I like the match even more now, hearing how Rock narrates stuff, whether it's true or false. But I'm like, he probably told Austin, "Don't let up on me, make it. I'm gonna sell it." And when he pinned him, it was like, wow. And to hear Stone Cold's music hit, and it was Disturbed. It was like, Yep. Welcome to the dark side. Exactly. It just made you say like, oh, that's up.
I actually just listened to that the other day.
But it was like when that glass broke and he grabbed. I was like, he really sided with McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
And but I mean, if you watch the match and get all the way up to the chair shots, it was like that's the only way he was going to put Rock down.
Yeah. I think most people would always remember just that kind of being Austin's kind of swan song. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed fitting that it'd be against probably arguably his greatest adversary, his greatest competitor, his greatest equal, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So I mean, that's a moment that has always lived in time. Brian H. WrestleMania moment. Shoot.
Let me take y'all back to April 1st, 1990.
Wait a minute. That was 2. Let's get it.
Yeah, we're going to the Toronto Sky Dome, but it's not what you think. It is when good old brother Brutus the Barber Beefcake, clipped the perfect record of Mr. Perfect, and Mr. Perfect was, he slid it out of the way, and then Brutus gave the genius, the late great Lonnie Poffo, head shaving.
Now tell the people why this is one of your favorite WrestleMania moments of all time, Brian H.
I mean, because I enjoyed the match. I mean, you got Brutus Beefcake, who's one of my my favorites, like my unsung favorites, right?
Sure.
People wouldn't believe.
Everybody has those. And how old were you when you remember when you watched?
So I watched the first. That's my first one I remember. So I was 4 or 3.5. The last WrestleMania I watched with my grandfather, but to like go back and really like watch to appreciate this was about 1999.
Okay.
No, 2000 when the tapes came out.
Got
the
it.
WrestleMania the Legacy tapes came out, and WrestleMania 6 was the first one I bought. Good old Sam Goody. And
oh Lord,
yeah, man, I was buying them.
Showing our age, ain't we? That's what we doing tonight. Showing our age.
And so WrestleMania 6, and they had Brutus Beefcake in there, and then Mr. Perfect, and then the music. I mean, 2 of my favorite themes in wrestling. So that is the first moment that I will bring up tonight.
All right. Well, I mean, I love the fact that you kind of went off the cuff, right? Because a lot of people, one thing we're trying to do now as we go forward is we're trying to get people to get to know us a little bit better. And that's something I'm sure people didn't really know about you as much because it's a match that kind of goes unheard of for a while. But let me shoot one of my favorite WrestleMania moments off the cuff, like immediately. Don't mind the dog in the background. Where were you when the streak was broken and the whole wrestling world went silent for about 35.5 seconds?
Same place you was.
Exactly. Exactly. When Brock Lesnar broke the streak at WrestleMania, I remember that's probably the last time that I was legitimately flabbergasted. And I don't know if flabbergasted is considered an SAT word these days. But I remember just this hush over Loafers before it burnt down and got rebuilt. Where we were all congregating and enjoying WrestleMania. I think for the first time. I don't know where I came from. I don't know where I was in dress clothes. I don't know where I was coming from. Probably church. It was a Sunday. Yeah. And we were there. The fellas were there. I remember Charlie Speed made it in time. He had to get his pump in, his workout, and I remember he came and showed a little bit later. And we're watching Mania. And that WrestleMania itself wasn't the greatest WrestleMania by any means, but I remember when Brock Lesnar counted 1, 2, 3. It was just this hush. Of course, we got a famous Undertaker meme guy.
Shout out to Ellis.
You can hear mouth.
I don't know why people thought it was me. Oh, I was him.
Wow. See,
I can't believe that.
I didn't say
you never
that.
told us that.
I didn't say that. You said that. It wasn't me. I can't unsee it now.
I'm gonna tell you a story when you finish your story.
Okay, good. Hold on. I'm gonna finish because I gotta hear this. I don't remember a moment where the wrestling world or wrestling fans were that silent. Like I was in disbelief. I thought it was a botch. I thought it was a mistake, and everybody was just like, it was just this just collective hush. Everything. Wait a minute, what? And it's just nobody said anything on commentary. You just saw people's faces in the crowd looking around like no. And I remember I was just in loafers like this with my head in my head, like no. And it almost ruined my evening. I was like, we spent our entire lives at the time, loving the Undertaker and just his career. And it was during a predictable era, as what we call it. It was no way in my mind that I ever would think that the Undertaker's streak will be broken. So that, I mean, just that moment of still look. See, Brother Raj was there. I believe he was there. I remember D was there. It was one of those things. I was completely shocked. But go ahead, Brother Brandon, Mr. WrestleMania guy.
So after the meme made it through the internets and all that good stuff, I was still going to like independent shows.
I knew you went to a show and somebody thought that.
And people would be like, "Oh, can I get a picture with you?" I'm like, "Why? Who are you?" Like, what? They're like, "Aren't you that guy?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Aren't you him?" I'm like, "No." So more famously, I'm at a local show here, and I'm not going to mention this wrestler's name, but let's just say this wrestler worked for WWE at some point, but was at this independent show. Knew my name because he's called me by my name before, or I was such and such's boy. So, had seen me multiple times before in different settings. He comes up to me and was like, "Yeah, I'll be capitalizing. You should have had some pictures made and be signing autographs and set up a table." And I looked at him, I said, "Who do you think I am? Do you really think I'm the WrestleMania guy?" "Oh, that's not you." So of course I had to call the wrestler. I was like, "What? You just saw me last week. What are you talking about?"
Is this who I
You saw
think
me
it
2
is?
weeks ago.
Is this who I think it is?
Name drop. Name drop. Brian,
the gives with Shellsworth.
No, Bob Starr.
Really?
Wow. No. Are you serious?
He had seen me up and down the independent circuit.
Like you've run into him on more than one occasion. He really
multiple times.
Didn't you give him a paycheck?
Huh?
Didn't you give him a paycheck? Wasn't he rough?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't want to say it, but okay.
He was a ref, remember? But that's all I'm going to say about that. And I really looked at it and said, "Who do you think I am?" And it's no disrespect, but it was like, I felt like it was one of those things where they say, everybody looks the same or everybody has a twin. And I was like,
that's a little racist. That's what it sounds like to me.
So, next WrestleMania moment, please.
WrestleMania moment. Brother Brad, I think you're up. Brother Russell, give me another one of your favorite WrestleMania moments.
Am I going to go? I'm going to say my classic one. I'm going to give you a more recent one.
Okay, sure. By all means.
To me, this moment overshadowed what happened later in the show because I kept thinking about it when Seth Rollins went to do that curb stop and it turned into an RKO out of nowhere.
Wow.
Ooh.
It's as soon as you said it, it made sense. But what you said, whatever happened after got overshadowed because we thought
I remember that more than the heist of the century.
We thought that was gonna be the biggest moment of the night. We were wrong.
But I kept going back to I was like, but he just lost to Orton. But all I remember is the curb because that was during the time where Orton was doing those RKOs out of nowhere and he kept getting more and more creative.
And
it was like, oh. And he definitely was up in the air with the curb stomp, and he said, "Nope." So that moment.
You want to hear a fun fact? I do not like outside manias. I don't.
Oh, because of that.
It throws the even off for me. But I would tell you, you have no idea how happy I was that night when Seth Rollins cashed in. I mean, my Roman hate was at like the highest during that time period. Like I hated Roman Reigns so much I stopped watching WWE for a period of time during that era. Like it was close after that. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I gotta find something else to watch. But you have no idea how happy I was for him to go to Suplex City, first of all, and then for Seth Rollins to cash in. But excellent WrestleMania moment.
Wait, so you don't like outdoor manias?
I really don't like I'm like the way they do it now was fine on the East Coast, right? Because the dome's over them, but like never. That's why I never liked WrestleMania 9. I didn't like WrestleMania in was it San Francisco?
Yeah, that's the West Coast.
I don't like it when it's outside like that.
Yeah, I don't Dallas mind they closed the roof.
Yeah, like I don't mind the dome. Even in what was the one in did they go back to Tampa fresh off the pandemic? They went back.
That's the one I'm watching now.
Like I don't mind the roof over the top, or like they got the thing over with the lights.
Okay.
I do not like daytime WrestleManias. Like it's your pre-show starts in the daytime, it starts getting dark. As
You want it to be dark towards the end.
I don't know. I don't think I don't know. I don't know why. It's just the way I feel. But
I gotta
Like
see.
all I can think about.
Does SoFi have a roof?
SoFi, I think they do. Like, I think
Okay.
they got like a little,
Because that Dallas was so bright, so it still felt like daytime. Like, you know how like you go to a wrestling show and you could tell you indoors. Dallas was so bright, and I know they closed the roof on. Yeah, they closed the roof on that place.
Yeah.
But it still felt. It was just so bright, so like it just felt like daytime. But yeah, that's interesting because like 33. But I think it felt like more of the show was dark than light with 33 and 28, and both of them were outdoors.
Yeah. So
and then next year in Philly is in the Lincoln Financial Field.
Sure, but I'm sure they'll have the roof and stuff over the ring with the lights and stuff. It'll be
that gimmick.
Yeah, so
all I can think about is Bray Wyatt with his lantern in the daylight.
That was the worst.
When you say you ate
you missed the WrestleMania moment by putting the match there. If they just waited till the next year,
pretty much. Wait, but go ahead, Brian H. Another WrestleMania. You guys good on time?
I'm good, man. Another WrestleMania moment. I'm gonna here's another one. WrestleMania 2000. They had the Hardcore Championship match in a time limit title. And the finish where Bob Holly was actually, I think he was supposed to lose the crash or something, or the clock was supposed to run out, and he didn't. But it was just to go to show you how it was so attitude era. Just the fact that belt kept changing hands. They threw everybody else, pretty much everybody left, and the belt kept changing hands. And the reason why that's a moment for me because they would do that. Add that match onto SmackDown 2, Know Your Role. Mm-hmm. And like me and my God brothers would sit there and play that match. And that's when I had like the multiplayer adapter, just so we could all right, we got 15 minutes. Who would be the champion at the end? So that right there, just that whole match was a moment for me.
Brad H is going into deep tracks. Like he's going to all those songs that you don't hear on the radio. It's like you got to be a real fan to know what's going on. But I mean, I like what do you say to something like that? Like for anything, Hardcore Championship was classic. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think those are the moments that kind of stand still for us, especially if you had a chance to watch it live. One of my favorite WrestleMania moments outside of the obvious, there's a bunch of obvious I can sit there and talk about. I could talk about WrestleMania 12 and Bret and Shawn and stuff like that. But you know what I mean? Like of course we can do those things, but it's
Dylan's in the building. He said he's late, but he's here.
Hey, welcome, Dylan. But there's more to it than that. Sometimes for me, it's about the idea of what's happening rather than the match itself, right? So of course, one of my favorite matches of all time, right? But is it necessarily one of my favorite WrestleMania moments? Not necessarily. It's not so much of a moment to me, but it's the match itself that stands out because it's two of my all-time favorites, 1A and 1B, no order. But I'll tell you, that's a long-winded version to get to my real WrestleMania one. One of my favorite WrestleMania moments was when the Hardy Boys returned at the end of the Expedition of Gold.
Literally.
I mean, they literally the night before they just dropped the titles to the Young Bucks in a freaking, I believe it was a ladder match. I don't think it was a full-blown TLC, but knowing the Young Bucks in Ring of Honor, it was. But they just had a ladder match against the Young Bucks at Ring of Honor, dropped the title to them, and that's when the Hardys were like rock and rolling everywhere. And I don't think they weren't locked into anybody in particular. They were just kind of taking independent dates, and they did Ring of Honor. And I know their commitments were kind of ending up, and there was rumors about them returning. We hadn't seen the Hardy Boys in so many years. Matt Hardy had made a name for himself as a broken Matt Hardy, and we were kind of anxious to see if they would ever make their way back home to the WWE. But just that moment when the New Day came out to challenge in that ladder match. First of all, the ladder match was amazing, and my boys were in it, but it gets overshadowed just by the fact that the Hardys returned. And for them to continue to first of all, come back to the company and then win the Raw Tag Team titles was such a special moment for me. So yeah, the Hardys returning at WrestleMania, one of my favorite WrestleMania moments of all time. Brother Guy, you up, buddy?
That was one of mine, but good point.
I stole it.
I'm gonna steal one of Bryan's, and I know he probably got this on his list.
I don't know. Brian is going to deep cuts tonight. So,
well, I'm gonna keep it this side of the 2000s. But I don't know if you remember, it was like the longest drawn out story ever, and I swear this story lasted for a year plus, and it was just the chase.
Macho Man and Elizabeth getting back together.
No, not yet. It was when, and this moment is what did it for me, when he hit the psycho knee on Batista and then put him in the yes lock. I said, finally, thank you, WWE, thank you, because he could have ended it with the psycho knee. Wait a minute, was he called it a psycho knee at that time, or was it just a high?
Well, I don't know.
The
WWE version name of it?
The bell lock, the yes lock, and Batista tapped. I said yes, because that to me it was so convoluted. It was like WWE at times, and this is when I go in my comas when they. Oh, we got this story, but we're not going to give it to you like they did it with Becky Lynch. She had the most convoluted story to get to Becky 2 belts. And it was like, finally, thank you. It's over. And I felt like for Daniel Bryan, like, now we can breathe. What you going to do with him now?
Yeah.
It was like, thank you. He got it. So I just remember that. I just remember the cycle. I was like, yes, pin him. Oh, we're going to get, he going to tap. Okay. All right.
Bro, that was one of my favorite moments, brother. Like that, because I felt like for that moment, to me, it felt justified. I felt like for once the fans had a say so in that moment. You know, just that whole dynamic of forcing them to change the main event of WrestleMania, forcing them to put Daniel Bryan, because just the fans would not take no for an answer, man. So that was definitely a special moment. Brian H., go ahead.
All right, let's go to WrestleMania 8.
Here we go. This is a classic.
Take this. It's yours. Now you got to deal with me. Macho Man Randy Savage winning the WWE Championship, getting his belt, after Ric Flair had constantly harassed and tried to play the mind games with Miss Elizabeth. I mean, for me, not only is that match special, but that's in my earlier fandom of watching, of looking through wrestling magazines. And I remember seeing the pictures of this match in whatever magazine I had.
Trust me, me too, bro.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it was it might have been a WWF magazine.
I'm almost sure it was a WWF magazine.
I think it was WWF magazine.
I'm almost sure that thing was plastic.
I think it is too, because one day on the cover.
They were on the cover, yes.
I don't remember the cover. I just remember having the magazine and, just like I said, just constantly watching that and then, getting the tape. And see, like WrestleMania 8 was the first tape that I borrowed from my uncle. And for whatever reason, the tape we had only had like the last 3 matches. Yeah, shout out to Troy, man. But yeah, that's one of my moments. WrestleMania 8, Macho Man winning the gold.
This is for you.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Had to drop. Yeah, man. Oh man, that was a question real quick. I'm not gonna, because sometimes these conversations can go left field. How do you feel about not getting Hogan versus Ric Flair at WrestleMania 8?
I mean, I can't put myself in that position because
I'm young bucks, literally.
Yeah, I'm still 5 years old.
Yeah, we little fellas.
Yeah, it ain't matter to me. I got Hogan at the end of the night, and yeah, so.
I mean, that's fair. That makes sense. I'm going to shift gears. I'm telling you, for some reason I'm just doing all these like recent ones, and I'm going to save. How about this? Everybody save their best for last. How about that? Is that good?
Okay.
Okay. Did everybody say their favorite yet, or they're like best, or they still have one left in the bag?
I mean, I got quite a few, but I just put, like mine's a soul.
Okay. Cool.
Random, because it's like the obvious. You know what I mean? Like you said.
No, I mean, I get it. I'm
gonna save one of my top ones for last. I'm not gonna say because I know y'all got the best one.
Okay, perfect. Like I said, I'm loving the fact that you're going to deep tracks, Brian, because like I said, these are the conversations we're gonna have anyway. One of the most recent moments, man, last year, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus freaking Kevin Owens. Shout out to Kevin Owens for baiting Stone Cold Steve Austin into coming out of retirement to have one last match. And oh my goodness, I mean, if there's one thing that I'll always, first of all, I would never disrespect Vince McMahon and all that he's done for the business, for WWE, and the many great shows that he's put on, despite what we liked or didn't like. I mean, but if there's something that he got right, and only to find out that would probably be one of his last major things that he would have his hands on, is Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out of retirement to have I guess, a falls count anywhere, no holds barred street fight with Kevin Owens at last year's WrestleMania. Nothing short of amazing. I mean, Kevin Owens, to me, for him, first of all, I'm a huge Kevin Owens fan. We have met him and worked with him personally. I mean, so he's always held a special place in our lives as fans and personally. But to see him have that kind of redemption story at WrestleMania, I think Kevin Owens kind of got a bad shake for having a lot of bad dance partners at WrestleMania. But I mean, he got the greatest dance partner anyone could ever ask for. I mean, he was the one guy that was able to get Stone Cold Steve Austin to come out of retirement and actually have a match against, right? I remember watching Tough Enough, the revitalized version with Stone Cold as a host, which I loved personally. And I remember one of the students or whoever it was asked John Cena, well, you've done so much in this business. Who would you love to have a match with? He kind of looked at Austin and kind of shook his head. And Austin said, no, don't even look at me. But it's like, man, shout out to Kevin Owens to come from. I mean, this guy, I had no freaking idea this guy was working at a stinking gas station and a warehouse when he was Ring of Honor champion. I didn't know stuff. I didn't know it was like that. So to see him have that moment at WrestleMania, to beat CM Punk to it, to beat John Cena to it, to beat Randy Orton, Triple H, and everybody that wanted a piece of Stone Cold Steve Austin, and for him to have the match that he did, he made Austin like $1 million. He played it so well. And I mean, from the minute he walked out to the minute he was carried in the back by the referees and the officials. So Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna share some things from Break the Fourth Wall from last year. During WrestleMania Access Week, I was back with MacMania, and I was producing the interview with the guys with him, and he almost broke. And they asked him about what the moment means. And he said, he always wanted to have a match with Sami Zayn. He got to do that. Wanted to have a match with Stone Cold. He wanted to have a match with Rey Mysterio. And he said, now to be able to have this match, like it meant so much to him. And you could see him, how people do.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm like, wow. Like, because we like you said, we
did. I remember that.
Yeah. We watched Kevin Owens for so long, and to see him like kind of had that moment. Last year, I got a chance to be there because I had to take my stuff in early. So I'm in the arena before the doors open. So I'm at my seat and I'm watching them like not practice because they wasn't going to give away it was a match, but they had like the stuff in the ring for the KO show. Right. And then you see him and Austin just standing aside. And it's like watching, how they always do the day ofs and the 24th and you see them at the ring.
Yep.
So I'm watching them too. And I'm like, my manager looks at me. He goes, yo, this don't ruin it for you? I said, nah. No. I said, like, because I'm not seeing the match now with Bianca. I saw Bianca and Becky Lynch practice. So, like, when the spots came in the match, I was like, oh, I remember that. Tyson Kidd was producing, so you got to see all that. But to see, like, Owens there with Austin, and then to see not only the fans into it, not only the employees into it, but the wrestlers become fans and say, no, we're coming out. Like I walked past Rhea Ripley on the floor because she was out there. She wanted to see, like everybody wanted to take in Stone Cold that night, and it was amazing.
I think one of the most respectful things I heard was I think it was Bianca Belair went to Matt the show, said thanks for the house, which is something that for what I heard that wrestlers do when they go to the top person and they pretty much thank them for drawing the number that's there. And man, it lives in infamy, man. It'll always be one of those moments. Quick honorable mention for Kevin Owens. This is not one of my favorite. It is one of my favorite moments, but I'm just going to slide it in there real quick because we can. Kevin Owens jumping off the freaking pirate ship during the pandemic on the Seth Rollins onto the table. I'm talking about for pandemic WrestleMania. Man, you needed that one special moment.
Because remember the story, Seth Rollins kept saying, you don't have no WrestleMania moments. And everybody, I remember wrestling Twitter said, yo, they're going to put a pirate ship in there and Kevin Owens going to find a way to jump off of that thing.
He kept talking about he was eyeing the Tampa Bay Buccaneer pirate ship they had at the stadium before they had to shut things down and all the things. So he's like, here's this for WrestleMania moment. He flies off. But shout out to Kevin Owens. Brother Brandon, you're up next, buddy. Give us another one of your favorite WrestleMania moments.
So a lot of people might not know this, but I'm going to share a little tidbit. My grandmother was a huge WCW fan lady.
I
Hey,
didn't know this
girlfriend.
until recently.
Huh?
I didn't know this until recently. Till you said
Yep.
something.
So growing up, I was exposed to a lot of WCW. Didn't realize what it was, and that was just my way of spending time with her. And I remember watching it and hearing her talk about one particular wrestler, one of her favorites. So I went back and watched this as I got older. I didn't know much of the story, but all I remember that moment when Ricky the Dragon Steamboat pinned Randy Savage for the Intercontinental title.
Mhm.
And I don't know if y'all remember that moment when he got the pin and the arena was quiet. You're looking like, wait a minute, was that a mix-up? Was that a mistake? What happened? And
Right.
then it was like the commentators were selling it like, oh my God, the travesty, because with the King Kong Bundy was out there, Miss Elizabeth was on one side.
No, George the Animal Steel.
Thank you. George Animal
Yeah,
Steel was out there. And it was, they were trying to keep everything fair because, one was cheating and everything. But then when his
I
music
remember
hit,
that.
and the crowd just erupted because it was like, oh, it's not. It actually did. He actually got it. And not realizing how much Ricky the Dragon Steamboat meant to wrestling as a kid. And now looking back at him, that was a moment because it was like, oh, he won.
The ultimate baby face.
Yep. So that I had to take it back, Brian. That was for you.
Nah, it's
I
it's
just watched that match yesterday.
Which
Like,
which mania was that?
WrestleMania 3.
three.
Three.
It's a
stole
work
the
of
show.
art.
Yeah.
It's a work of art. Like when I saw when I first saw a clip. First of all, the highlight package when I first saw the clip from the best WrestleMania tape was ridiculous. When I was old enough to go back and sit back and watch it thanks to the network. Well, it's probably before the network, but that was when I really sat down and watched it. I was like, man, this is poetry in motion. But I mean, it gets no. Come on now, Ricky Steamboat versus Macho Man Randy Savage for the IC title at WrestleMania 3. Classic WrestleMania moment. Another sidebar, another honorable mention I'm going to throw in there. And if you guys have honorable mentions, just throw them in there real quick so you know what I mean, so we can get as many as possible. I remember seeing it after the fact, but watching Hogan slam Andre seemed like, because I wasn't there, I was too young, I was a baby. Seemed like the biggest thing in the world. We talk about that moment with previously when I talked about the Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar and the streak was finally broken. I remember going back and watching just everybody lose it when they finally saw Hulk Hogan body slam Andre, and it seemed like it was over. Like it seemed like, oh wow, the world is really what it. It's one of those things where certain moments transcend the business, and Andre the Giant was considered the eighth wonder of the world, and for Hogan to kind of do that, man, I mean, you talk about solidifying Hulkamania's legacy going forward. Someone that's had immense popularity as Andre the Giant to be body slammed by. I mean, the ultimate. I don't think there's ever been a better passing of the torch. And if you guys can think of one, please let me know. But yeah, Hogan body slamming Andre at WrestleMania 3.
Absolutely. I'm gonna come to a moment that actually made me shed a tear.
Oh, this is okay.
Yeah, being there in person for this one. WrestleMania 33.
Okay.
Naomi wins the WWE Women's Championship. Now,
yes, indeed.
This is layered on so many levels. First of all, she's the first Black superstar to win a championship at WrestleMania. Jazz was the first Black woman to successfully defend the title at WrestleMania 18, but Naomi was the first Black superstar. They couldn't give us The Rock at 2000 like they should have.
Right.
But to see and understand that she had battled through that knee injury, right? She was close with or she did a lot of work for the people from the Pulse nightclub shooting that had happened months prior.
Right.
To see her work in the community, to be able to go home. And it was we want these WrestleMania moments, right? So when she won the title at Elimination Chamber, I'm like, well, all right, but WrestleMania, why can't she win it at WrestleMania? And then she had to relinquish the belt, and for her to get that match,
she came back and get it.
Yeah, and the thing is, because you were scared that the match was going to get cut because you knew they was running heavy on time, and if you go back and look at that, they rushed all the women's entrances for that match until they got to Naomi, so Naomi could have her moment and she would go ahead and become the women's champion. So that's a moment for me.
It doesn't get any bigger than that, especially for the culture. Much deserved. I think that was probably one of the last times where I felt like Naomi was really kind of prioritized as far as the story was concerned. I don't say so much as a character or a gimmick, but just as far as her involvement in what she was doing, it really felt important, and it was important. So that was always a fun moment. But I'm gonna do like two more because, like I said, I don't want to keep you guys for too long. We're gonna, we'd be sitting here all day talking about WrestleMania moments. But one of the more recent moments for me, and I'm saying so many. It's like Brian H is going back, and like Brian H is going all the way back. But Brother Brandon is like doing a mix in between. I'm just like staying pretty recent. But Cody Rhodes returning to WWE last year at WrestleMania. I mean, the proverbial nail in the coffin to AEW as a competitive organization and not just a second alternative. Man, we all felt it. We all knew it was coming, but we didn't know how much it was coming and how much of it will be coming. And boy, was it impactful, man. When that moment, Brian H had the moment. Brian H is legendary. He was the first person to produce a segment, produce an interview. Cody Rhodes' first interview back in WWE post WrestleMania match. Am I correct? Am I saying that right?
Yep.
And he had the nerve to actually call me and ask me what should he do. Hey man, should I sit there and watch the match or should I go prepare for? And crazy part is he wouldn't. He was trying not to tell me who it was. Hey, listen, somebody come in. I got an opportunity. I said, look, man, if you don't go back there and interview Cody Rhodes after that match, okay, well, since you already know who it is, I said, come on, man.
No, we didn't know. They didn't tell us, but you said, yo, it's not Cody. We all know it's Cody. Let's not kid ourselves.
You kept saying, why? They're not saying who it is. I'm like, come on, man, cut it out. But I don't think any of us, I can't speak for you brothers, but I know I didn't expect him to be literally like, as Brian H said, he walked across the street from AEW to WWE in full blown Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. I mean, that's what I mean. If there's ever going to be a place you lose your voice at, it's WrestleMania.
That for the longest,
for worshiping Jesus is too loud. That's okay too.
For the longest time, Krista B kept making fun of me because she was like right behind me, and she kept saying, "He's home, he's home," because that's all I kept saying. Like, the music hits, and first of all, like, and you see, like, I still have that moment favored in my phone, and you see, like, and you hear wrestlers, and the whole crowd goes crazy. And it just goes to show you how many people knew they've still recognized him, right?
Right.
How many of these people probably follow Cody that were strictly WWE people, but they like Cody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for him to be able to come there and, like he said, that's what they bought. They bought the American Nightmare.
I respect Vince McMahon for that. And to your point, I mean, every wrestling fan from around the world was underneath that roof, right? But it was going to be more than enough, of people who were there versus just a regular, as we call ourselves 25%, but that 75% on WrestleMania is going to be majority wrestling fans. Yeah, and they come from around the world. Shout out also to Seth Rollins. I mean, you couldn't have had a better dance partner for him in that moment. He played it perfectly. Even the build-up. Seth Rollins not having a match, and this is the thing that he's been doing lately. They just keep dragging us out, like these late bookings where you don't know who's going to be wrestling who, and Seth Rollins had to fight for a match. And it's like, well, if you just wanted a match, you should have just asked for it. Why
you ain't asking?
Why did you just ask? You should have just come and asked me. And then he got it, and everybody's like, well, who's going to be his opponent? And we just knew. So timeless classic moment, Brother Brandon. We're gonna do we'll do two more. This one, and then we're gonna do the last one. So I'm gonna give
you two rapid fire ones real quick.
Go ahead.
Because I can't go without saying. It was an important part of history when Lita, even though it was on the kickoff, Lita revealed the new women's title.
Oh yes. Oh God.
It was on the kickoff show, and I felt like they kind of was like, here it is. But I'm glad that they did it at Mania, and it kind of changed the way that we look at divas versus superstars. So I was happy that they kept the belt just like the men's belt, but now it's red and it had the white strap. I was like, you know what? They're making a statement right now.
Yeah.
So that moment, but then also can't go without saying, and I hope this isn't your favorite, when Bianca Belair won the title, but it was the whole part. The moment was, remember how many times she tried to lock that KOD in at the last couple minutes?
Yeah.
And they kept reversing. And then she's like, "No, come here. I'm not doing this. Come here." It felt like it was a, can she do it? Can she do it? Oh, she did it. And just that 3 count, it was like main event night 1 of WrestleMania, and this is we going home happy.
Right.
And
no, that was definitely a big moment.
Yeah, just the honorary mention for that.
Yeah.
Right it back in the next year for a Raw Women's title win.
No,
Even
that match was ridiculous. That triple threat match between Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte Flair. And then Charlotte winning and Ric Flair getting in. He almost messed up the shot, the pyro shot, because he was in the way. He was like, Flair, move out the way. This is
Right.
going to last forever.
Right.
But those women, the 4 horsewomen, I'm telling you, I'll say it to this day, and I'm saying it now. Those women changed how I view women's wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Is because Rhea Ripley she kind of spoke on it recently. She talked about, she's looking for a day where this genderless idea of wrestling, where it's not just that's a good women's match. It's like, no, that's a good wrestling match. And personally, that's how I like to view the women. I don't like to look at them like, oh, that's cool for a women's match. It's like, no, just give me give me equity, give me equality, give me just a good wrestling match. Like I said, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, Asuka, Becky Lynch. You know what I mean? Where some of the women that were crucial to, and Natalia, of course, and kind of just changing my whole mentality and how I looked at women's wrestling, and not just like, oh, that's the women are trying. So
they got the first ever steel match. First ever. Why can't it just be that was a good steel cage match? That was a good that was a good ladder match.
There you go. Sasha Banks and all her first. Mercedes Moné, Brian H.
So let me give you some rapid fires real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah, knock them out.
For my last moment, I'm gonna bring an obvious one, and I'm gonna make it a point why I think it's the greatest match.
I think I got a feeling based on what you just said, it might be the same one as mine because they kind of have.
I was gonna say if it's mine too, it's gonna. Can we all say it at the same time? We ready?
Okay, good.
Brian,
he's gonna do his rapid fire. I'm
gonna hit you with some quick rapid fires because I wrote these down, so they got to make the show.
Hold on, time out. So Brandon, you have any more rapid fires? You have any more? Because you can.
No, I got all mine out.
Okay. So
You said my other one with the tag team.
Brian, you do rapid fires. I'm gonna do my last little bit. I don't have that many more, and then we're going to the last one. Is that fair?
Yeah, that works.
This is a good show. Here we go.
Yeah. So DX's reunion promo at WrestleMania 15. Mm-hmm. Just seeing China come home, only for them to swerve us. But that's like the last time we really see them all together, all 5 of them together. So that's a WrestleMania moment. Ultimate Warrior saving Hulk Hogan at the end of WrestleMania 8. That's a moment for me as a child because like I remember just constantly like waiting for the Warriors music to hit. Brandon took Sasha Bianca. WrestleMania 30, the way it kicks off, Austin, Rock, Hogan. I mean, enough said with that, right?
Of course.
WrestleMania 31, DX and NWO. Finally.
Yep, there it is. That was one of mine too. So you can check it off my list. That was perfect. Triple H versus first of all, Sting's freaking match against first WrestleMania moment. You kidding me?
Exactly. Like I go back and watch that again just because it's a fun moment. Like it doesn't need to have stars attached to it. It's a fun moment. It's our childhood. Like that's a moment I share with people who don't watch wrestling no more. Like, yo, check out our guys. And then the other moment, the last moment on here. Yeah, the last moment on here that wasn't mentioned on the show, WrestleMania 17. Linda McMahon stands up. Roof blew off of the Astrodome. And I remember watching this one with I remember watching this one with my grandmother. And then like later on, my mother came to pick me up, right? And shout out to Brother Brandon for the tape. My mother came, and so my grandmother's next door neighbor was Shane, right? Mm-hmm. So you know how your grandparents tell a story to like, so she goes, Shane put a hurting on his father tonight. So my mother was like, for real? They was fighting next door.
Whole time she was talking about
and so I'm just sitting there. By this time, we're watching, right? So by this time, the show, we're at the gimmick battle royal, right? And I'm just like, Ma, she's talking about wrestling. Just like you thinking too hard,
Like,
you
come on,
know.
come on, man.
And she
Come
goes,
on, that's your first rodeo.
right, exactly. Oh, they need to stop. And I was like, but you know, that Shane versus Vince match was like, again, entertaining. Vince McMahon knows how to perform, and that's the reason why all his WrestleMania matches, including the last one, the one last year against Pat McAfee, always deliver, because they're going to deliver you the most important part, the entertainment part. I just watched him and Brett again because it was like one of the funniest things.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm with you, Brian. I did enjoy that match too. I just want him to wear his gear, even if he had a T-shirt over it. But you know,
Yeah, I understand.
Look what you said.
I love that time dedicated to
Triple H's Terminator entrance that year against
That's
Sting.
my favorite.
That was tough. I like that a lot.
That's my favorite. I know a lot of people talk about different ones, but like that one, WrestleMania 30 with Sasha and Charlotte and Alexa Bliss.
When he was king on the throne.
What about the one with Stephanie McMahon was at the top, and she was like, and she gave me, she was like, bow down to the King of Kings, and he came out in that giant motorcycle.
That tricycle.
Yeah, there you go.
On the back with him. That was the Ronda Rousey match, right?
That was the Ronda Rousey match. Her, Ronda Rousey and Triple H.
Can we just that Stephanie McMahon moment? She sells too. She learned that from her when Ronda had her locked in and she had her arms like this, and Stephanie was screaming. She makes you believe it.
Yeah. No, that match was one of my favorites as well. But yeah, so are you finished, Brian?
Yeah, those I hit all my points.
Okay, so here's my last ones I have run down. So obviously, WrestleMania 10, the ladder match between Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon, like that for me solidified. Like I was like, okay, I'm a Shawn Michaels fan now. And literally, all he did was change his gear, and just of course the match itself. I'm telling you that gear maybe
that's what did it for you.
It's the gear, I promise you. And of course that match itself is memorable. Another one was Undertaker versus Diesel. Diesel's last match and last WrestleMania moment before.
That was awesome. Yep.
Like underrated. I watched that, and I was like, man, why is it slept on so much? And I was a big kid, so I always liked the bigger guys in that matches. Of course, Kane versus Undertaker, WrestleMania 14. The brother match, the same thing. Me and my brother, we're both big guys. Like Kane and Undertaker were two of our favorites, and
that might be match of the night.
It probably was. You know what I mean? I think that one kind of stole the show. Another moment was when Mike Tyson knocked out Shawn Michaels and kind of put him out of his misery, literally and figuratively. And hold on, I got like one or two more. What's this? Right? Daniel Bryan winning both titles at WrestleMania 30. Just that match, and I think. Hold on, I think I got one more. Is that it? I think I named all of them, and of course, the moment between special moment between Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair's retirement match. You see Ric Flair on 1,000 in that match. If you go back and watch that, you like he really gave it his. I think that was literally his best match in his older age. Like I don't care what he did in TNA after that. Like I didn't see anything better than that. But he really showed up for that match, and it was the match itself isn't necessarily one of my favorites, but it's the moments that provided in that match. And of course, there's a ton of matches like Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, whatever one you want to call it. But it's like those matches mean more to me than the actual moments. But I think it's finally time, brothers, as we wind this down. People keep coming into the chat.
Real quick, I wanted to touch on Ric Flair real quick.
No, go ahead.
Because you brought up Ric Flair in that match, but another match, WrestleMania 18 with the Undertaker. Like,
right.
And the reason why I bring that up because we hear about Ric Flair and Sting all the time and how that wasn't, the final match of Nitro, that is. Like, he wasn't in shape. He wanted to wear a t-shirt. Yeah, but this one, like, Flair was on his game. He felt like 40-ish Flair, but he still, like, he looked like they had an incredible match that's not talked about.
Yeah, Flair looked down on himself, man. But like you said, if you look back at that moment, man, that was like almost his comeback match. It's like, no, Flair's back. And like you said, not too long after that, we saw him kind of really start to get his mojo back and become more of a full-time performer rather than an authority figure on WWE television. So, brothers, these are all excellent WrestleMania moments, man. This is what we do. We've had this conversation on so many occasions about our favorite WrestleMania matches, but I think it's finally come down as we kind of wrap this up. Even though we're burning midnight, every time I come back, we burn the midnight oil. It's because I'm long-winded. It's okay. Usually Brian H is like that pastor in church is like, listen, I'm not gonna keep y'all long, and he's telling the truth. He doesn't. I'm the one that says I'm not gonna keep y'all long, and then it's too late. I got to provide dinner because I haven't kept y'all at the church too long. But it's time to talk about our all-time favorite WrestleMania moment, of all time. I don't know if it's obvious. I got a feeling we have not discussed this. We've never this is not synchronized. But if I was a betting man, I got a feeling as to what our number one all-time favorite WrestleMania moment is. So, like, how should we do this? How do you want to do this? Look. Okay, ready?
We're gonna blurt the match out, right? On the count of 3.
Okay. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, blurt, or is it 1, 2, and then blurt?
1, 2, 3, blurt.
Okay, right. We'll go 1, 2, 3, and just say it. Say how they don't got a match to say however you want to say it.
Yeah,
all right. This is gonna be great. Okay, here we go. You ready? This is I wish you had like a.
I know. I ain't even put the sound effect in here.
Don't even worry about it, brother. Listen. We been on fire all night. It's okay. Here we go. You ready? I was like, "What's the Young and the Restless?" Like, what do you?
No, that's the built-in stuff. But yeah.
Oh, okay. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. Kofi
Hogan Rock
WWE Championship in WrestleMania.
What did you say, Kofi?
I said Kofi Kingston.
I said Kofi Kingston.
What did he say? He said The Rock.
Hogan Rock.
No.
Yes.
Kofi Kingston winning the WWE Championship in WrestleMania.
African born or of African descent. I don't know if he was born in Ghana. Was he born in Ghana?
It don't matter. He's black.
Okay. This is the first black WWE champion since Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Full blown. He just said he was standing in the green room, and he just pops up.
I'm not going to allow Mr. Waters.
Hey, first of all, Has the Third has the best run-ins of all time.
He's the king of run-ins.
Play the music next time.
If you are not watching this, ladies and gentlemen, please wait to the end of the show and say, I'm not going to allow. Go ahead, brother. Peace, man.
I'm not going to allow Brian H. Waters.
Brian H.
Right
Walters.
now. Right. To sit there and say anything with Hogan in it when it comes to the best moment of all time.
What was the best moment of all time? Here?
Kofi, man.
Come on, Kofi.
Straight up.
WWE Championship from Daniel Bryan.
As a black man.
As a black man, you have
what we not going to do.
You have to. Like, I bumped Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart for that match right there.
Right.
Had to.
Right.
Like, everybody, you see how we both looked at, like, I wish I had these shades of. Everybody looked at Brian like, come on, bro. He said, because
I just said Kofi Kingston wins, and I heard you mumbling. Somebody said, did he say Kofi?
It's just for the culture, bro.
Yo, you have to. Like that moment. Brian, it's okay, brother. Let's talk about it. We're gonna take the last little bit of minutes. We got Brother Hugh in for the last segment. Welcome, Brother Hugh. I'm glad you jumped in because it's good to see you, sir. Let's talk about it. This is what we're here to do. As a black man, that moment, it kind of shook the foundation of our culture in this industry. See all these heavy words I'm using?
Yeah.
And all you saw, I think what always sticks out to me is, God rest his soul, is you see MVP and Shad Gaspard looking at each other like, yo, did that really just happen? And they look at each other and they kind of shed a tear. They're trying to be tough guys because they're wrestlers. And they just can't. They just look at each other and smile and just start crying and they embrace. And I'm like, man, if there was ever an image or a video or anything to kind of represent how we all felt in that moment, which seemed like such an impossible task, that in almost 60 years, there was never a completely black or full black that, like, unapologetically on both sides, never had to share anything, no asterisk, for a black man to be WWE champion. We've had black world champion, much in all due respect to them. but to have a black WWE champion, something we thought was going to be virtually impossible, something we thought we would never get, and for that to just kind of happen out the blue, especially the way that it happened. I mean, a guy that got through Elimination Chamber and he showed off. He wasn't supposed to be in Elimination Chamber. That spot was for Mustafa Ali. He got injured. Kofi got in the mix, and they found a way once again to get in that main event title picture. Well, first of all, one of the greatest of all times, Daniel Bryan. And first of all, let alone the moment, the match itself was unreal.
One finisher.
And for him to have that moment, like Brother Hugh said, for the culture, has to be and will always be my favorite WrestleMania moment of all time. Brian, talk to your people, man.
So I can talk now?
No,
my man
was Jamaican.
No, y'all gonna say the same thing. So listen.
No, let me say this before you say this. We didn't mention Hogan and Rock for a reason. The same reason we didn't mention Undertaker and Shawn Michaels.
There you go.
We didn't mention Undertaker and Shawn Michaels too. Undertaker and Triple H too.
Oh yeah.
We didn't mention those
match
because that's all in that same category. So they were all great moments. Don't get me wrong, but were they the greatest moment to the wrestling realm? And that's to me, it's saying you put your rose-colored glasses on for your love of Hogan.
Wow.
To filter your judgment in that moment.
So first of all, if y'all get on the Instagrams, you will see 3 days ago, there's a difference between favorite moments, favorite matches versus best moments and best matches. My favorite match is actually Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan in WrestleMania history. That is my favorite match. What I believe and what I said was, to me, one of the greatest moments.
I'm looking at it right now, Brian. I'm trying to
see it.
I'm trying to see it. I'm looking at it.
It's on the Wrestling Wrealm Instagram.
It does say number one, Brian H. Waters' top favorite WrestleMania matches.
And so, yes, that comes with the moment. I get it, right? Yes, Hogan Rock is my number 3 favorite match. However, personally, what I believe is the best moment, or I should say, the best moment, the best match, as far as what you want out of a WrestleMania, is Hogan Rock, for the simple fact that these fans help make the match and make the moment, and Hogan and Rock gave it to Hogan Rock, and Hogan Rock gave it back to him. Every single movement of the match, the fans was into it, to the point the Rock was booed and was still able to recover. So that's, for me, is the greatest WrestleMania match and one of the greatest WrestleMania moments. However, yes, my favorite moment is that's my favorite, but my favorite match is Kofi Kingston. So I know it seems like a struggle here. The rose-colored glasses.
I don't know, brothers.
Look, okay, bro, I ain't trying to hear all that. Right now, you're dealing with the gump of all nations.
Well, you was a hater. You hate Hogan.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro. No. It's not even about hating Hogan.
Go ahead, speak your piece, brother Hugh. Go ahead.
It's like I said before, it's about the culture.
Yeah.
Great match, great storytelling. The way his friends came up and fought, put their bodies on the line, put everything they felt for the black man, for the black culture on the line, and made sure that their man got his opportunity at WrestleMania. And he came through.
He definitely did.
He came through for the people.
With a solid match.
Solidarity.
A solid match.
No, it was a great match. It was a phenomenal match.
Great match. I wasn't expecting a great match, honestly. No, not that great.
So you know wait. You was expecting it to be good, just not that good.
Not that good.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, nah, bro, I'm not falling for that. I might have to take your black card on that one, bro.
Brother Hugh was backstage minding his business,
chilling.
And Brian, we was supposed to wrap up, and Brian H decided to say, right, don't get me wrong, I'll never take nothing away from Rock and Hogan in that moment, that WrestleMania,
never.
that WrestleMania 18 moment, man. And like I say, it's just certain moments, kind of in time, will always live. Like like Brandon mentioned, the end of an era match with Undertaker versus Triple H. Last time Triple H had his
That
long
was a
hair.
crazy match, man.
And Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee. He was so conflicted.
Yeah, speaking of which, tune in to Patreon this week. Friday. Me and Brother Hugh.
Is it
told
this Friday?
The story this Friday.
$1. I
You-
didn't see it advertised, so I was like, is it on there yet or is it coming?
Oh, it's recorded.
It's coming.
Oh, okay.
It's uploaded. Is
this that WrestleMania story?
The
Yes, it is.
WrestleMania, the 28th story.
Please advertise because I need.
Oh, we will.
Because I can't. I cannot wait.
We drop names. And I mean, well, I ain't gonna incriminate myself no more. But I mean, had I told the story a year ago, I'd been incriminate myself. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Man, I'm so looking forward to the story because I heard it years ago. Now it's
Oh yeah, and you're in it too.
Oh no,
the phone call I needed to make at the right time, because if I didn't, I would have lost my sanity during that trip.
Like listen, I'll say this: you were in rare form. It takes a lot to get your feathers ruffled, and you were in quite the tizzy. And I was so confused. I said, "Why are you upset at WrestleMania in Miami? What is going on?" And then he began to explain stuff, and I was like, "Oh no, this is
but see, the fact is, everything that Dwayne said was going to happen happened.
I had a feeling.
Hashtag Wrestling Summit Roundtable. You said that is a setup.
That just certain people. The Bible says you got to judge people. You judge a tree by its fruit. Like an apple tree is going to be an apple tree, whether the apples fall or not. Whether you see them, whether they're growing, whether they're not. It is what it is. You can look at it and tell it what's going down. And I had a feeling when you told me who was going on that trip. I said, "Yep, I'm glad I'm not going." As much as I wanted to go, I would have went too, but that would disaster written all over it. And that was back when Brother Hugh still didn't talk. Brother Hugh didn't talk for like 6 or 7 years.
That's true.
Didn't talk. I'm telling you, Brother Hugh would say 3 or 4 words here and there, and like, "Yeah, bro, yep." And that was it.
Photos was born that weekend.
He laughed a lot. He did laugh a lot.
He laughed. Yeah, he chuckled quite a bit. That was it. He didn't say too much. But when I heard him say "man," I said, "Oh snap!" You started off the story with a "man." I knew it was bad. I was like, "Okay, this is one of those things." I was so disappointed to hear that. I said, "Man, you supposed to be living it up," because the first phone call I got from Brian H was like, "Yo, I got the belt." I was like, "Oh shoot," because he got the winged eagle. His mother called him like, "Look, man, listen, here's the money. Just pay me back when you get back." Like, it was starting off on a positive note, but then I got another call. Then I got another call, and I was like, "Wait a minute, this is drastically going in the wrong direction."
The text you that Sunday, like it's happening. Everything you said, and it's embarrassing.
And then the aftermath of WrestleMania and the parking lot pimping, like the after show.
Yeah.
Like when you're hanging out and Brian H was trying to get a show done, and it didn't go down that way.
Wait a minute, is this when this is the Florida one, right?
Yes, indeed. This is Miami. So I'm done. I told my part of the story. I'm looking forward to it Friday. Like, I don't know why all these people just started signing in and watching what we're doing now. Like, we're trying to wrap
Patreon,
up.
Y'all can get the full story.
Subscribe to the Patreon channel. So if you don't know what we're referring to, hold on, let me just put it up there. Bam. Patreon.com/wrestling_realm. You don't want to miss this one. Is the reason it says exclusive shows and bonus material. It'll get more bonus than this.
I'm putting this on $1 tier so y'all can watch it. Just $1. Support us.
I might just put up $1 just so I can hear it again, even though I have access to the account. Like, no, I'm still paying $1 anyway. Like offerings, go put it in the collection plate. Yeah,
like
no, I want to support the cause. But yeah, good brothers, man. Brother Hugh, like I said, you've been here all this time. You just jumped in because Brian H had a few comments that you had to address, man. But
yeah, I heard some foolishness.
Fellas, we are like, it's here, man. Here we go again, man. This is another trip around the sun. WrestleMania will be here in less than 2 weeks.
I guess we got people here. They probably want to know at least what we feel about Solo. Get back here.
Well, listen. If you guys good, are we straight?
mean, we you know.
I feel like I want to be like Cody. So what do you want to talk about?
So,
we can address that promo real quick.
I'm just saying, let's jump into it. I don't know
'cause
why
they
everybody's jumping. Why is everybody jumping to the chat? Are these West Coast people? Like, is it?
It could be.
I don't know, man. I ain't mad at you, but since you're here, I'm glad you joined us. Why not? Let's
They heard Realness was dropping scriptures, and God's son showed up.
You know what? To God be all the glory.
There it
The
is.
promo. Now, let me tell you what I'm hearing. Okay, and then Brian, you tell me, and Brother Hugh, like by all means, everybody just jump in. But I'm gonna tell you what I'm hearing. I'm sitting there, and somebody goes, "I don't know." Look at that. He just hold on. First of all, Brother Brandon's got all these. He's got a ring light and tons of belts everywhere. He's barricaded himself in that room with belts. He can't get out.
Right.
Now, don't try to turn the camera off. He tried to turn the camera off because he's barricaded himself with belts. Anyway,
I can still hear you.
no, that's okay. I'm sure you can. I hear belts too. Like, don't trip. When I'm hearing on Twitter, everybody's like, "Oh." So I think one thing said that Solo Sikoa is saving the strongest Samoan spike for Roman Reigns.
I saw that.
Roman Reigns seems to me like he's getting beside himself. Now, we're talking WrestleMania and we're talking moments. We spent about an hour and 45 minutes talking about our favorite WrestleMania moments. But gentlemen, are we kind of lurking on another moment that could potentially happen at WrestleMania? Now, you saw the promo. That's a grown man screaming at another grown man. Now, he may be the baby of the family. And, you know, sometimes Samoan hierarchy in the family is different. That's a cultural thing. I'm not one to judge that. And I'm staying out of it, out of respect for their culture and their family dynamic. But the tribal chief, man, it seemed like he's starting to get above himself. And I'm not sure if his cousins, brothers is even gonna keep dealing with that. Brian H., what are you thinking? I'm nervous. You want the bloodline to keep going on.
I want them to keep going. I need them to get it together.
It's not looking good, man. I'm seeing a full-blown implosion. I said it. Clip it off. I'm saying it right now. I think that's going to be the next storyline, the bloodline implosion.
But I was talking to Lynn the other day, and we was both saying everybody not leaving Mania with the belts.
They can't.
But I don't think everybody's leaving empty-handed. If Roman and them, if the Usos win, look out, Roman losing. If the Usos lose, Roman leaving with the title, because then the story is, well, I got mine, you don't have yours, or vice versa.
Nah.
But either way,
I don't agree with you already. Go ahead.
I understand where you're coming from, but
okay.
I'm basing this off history.
That's fair.
I'm going back to WrestleMania 19, Kurt Angle and the America's Greatest Tag Team.
Can I ask you a question real quick before you keep going? Who booked WrestleMania 19?
Oh Lord, don't remind me.
Okay, I'm just saying.
But
who's booking WrestleMania 39?
Yeah. But then when you think about this implosion,
that's
the thing that's different, and that's what's making me like, it's God darn head scratcher.
You know, Roman's going away for a while. We all know that.
Don't know.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, he has been running hard, and we know that Roman has to keep his health in tip-top shape for the long haul, which is why they cut his dates. That's why they're protecting him. That's why they're making sure that he's healthy. Like,
man, he's got the grays coming out his beard now. He don't even care. He said, "Forget the just for men."
His body is going to break down at some point. He's got to take a lengthy break, and you know that when he returns, he's going to be that much more popular, even as a bad guy, one way or another. Now, the bloodline has proven that they are entertaining, and they can hold it down, and they can continue these stories going forward without Roman. Because think about it, when Roman's down on the shows, who's the representatives? It's the fellas, it's the brothers, right? Now, you saying, and I hear you, Brian H., you saying you're going off this history. Like, nah, history tells us one got to retain, one's got to lose. I think the bloodline fight. Think about it. They have been building up to this implosion, and we're saying to ourselves, it's only a matter of time because there's too many chinks in the armor. Roman's losing it. The twins, Jey Uso's back to his unstable ways. Solo Sikoa slipping up. Roman spazzing on the baby. Like, and Paul Heyman's just trying to stay out of the way and keep it all together and pretend like he doesn't see what's going on. I got a bad feeling about this, good brothers, and I think the bloodline literally disintegrates at WrestleMania, and then what's even worse, and it seems like Roman. Now I want everybody's 2 cents, so don't get quiet on me. I think Roman Reigns disappears for a while, leaving the Usos and Solo to pick up the pieces.
Yep.
And what I see is hold that thought, Brian. Please don't lose your train of thought, because I know it's going to be good. I feel it. and what I feel is what could potentially happen is the Usos might move on, and Solo might move on, and then by the time Roman comes back, he goes, all right, let's get back to bloodline business. They're gonna be like, well, god dang, Us, you've been gone all this time. We've been trying to do our thing. The Usos might turn face for all I know. Solo might be Intercontinental Champion. He might be United States. He might be whatever. And then what happens 5-6 months later down the line, however long it is, Roman Reigns come back and goes, all right, that cool bloodline, let's get back to doing business. And they like, look, Us, things changed, bro. It ain't what it used to be. And what if he forces them to get back into the bloodline? Like, nah, I don't think y'all understand. When I say I'm back, that means we back. And then once again, you have a new wrinkle in the story of the bloodline. Will they or won't they? Will they honor their family and their legacy and do what's right according to their culture? Or do they say, man, no, I'm tired of following him, man. We got success without him. We've been fine without him. We've been out of trouble. We've been doing our things. The Usos may retain. Solo Sikoa may pick up a championship. I don't know. That's just the way I see it transpiring down the line. Brian, you was ready to say something.
I'm just saying, what's the God dang it.
Yes, that's right. I want you to change your mind based off my opinion.
No, but what's the bigger moment though, right? So if we get that spike at WrestleMania, is it the cost Roman the title, or is it after Roman falls?
I think it all plays into each other.
Because Cody gotta have his moment, right? And he's gotta be the last person we see when the curtain's called.
We've seen everybody in the bloodline fail, right?
Except Roman.
Roman's a human being. And I think the story is that gods don't bleed. That's from a movie, right? It's from the movie 300. And the Pharaoh swore he was a god. And there's this scene, and there's this slight scene where he gets I don't know if his earring gets nicked off through something, and he starts bleeding. And it kind of sends a message like, you're already, think about it. Look at Reigns. He's becoming unhinged. He's unstable. He's losing it. He turned on Sami Zayn because he thought Sami Zayn was going to turn on him. Like, that's a wrinkle I didn't see. Like, he made Sami turn on the bloodline. He didn't. He's like, I just got tired of taking it from this dude. I'm not going to sit there and keep taking it from him because I don't have to. I'm not his family. I was his family, and I did everything he told me to do, but I'm not sitting there and taking that. But Roman Reigns never trusted Sami Zayn. Look at the long-term booking. We watch him at War Games. Everybody celebrate, put their ones up. All you see is Roman looking Sami dead in the face. Right?
All right.
And it's like, yeah, as long as he was doing the bidding of the bloodline, he was okay, but he never trusted Sami. And all of a sudden, he really felt like he had to turn on Sami before Sami turned on him. That's a sign of paranoia. Look how he's becoming unhinged. He's Mr. Cool Man. He's settled. This dude just spazzed on the baby. He spazzed on Baby Uso. He don't because you know why? That's the only guy he can depend on, because Jey Uso is unhinged. Jimmy Uso is now conflicted because he's still saying, Sami Zayn caused issues between my brothers. Sometimes anger can cause you to lose focus. Sometimes you depending on something. Solo may slip up. The Usos may slip up. They're gonna be incapacitated because Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are gonna keep the Usos out of that match.
Right.
Solo Sikoa is going to slip up because he's a fresh face, right? Solo Sikoa is still inexperienced. Like he's unhinged as well. You can't have two unstable people trying to accomplish a goal at the end of the day. Brother Brandon, you look inquisitive.
So I'm just going to say, Roman, I agree with the unhinged. He looks like he did when it got that feel like, remember when Seth got in his head? And their whole build up to it, and you're like, oh, Seth might actually do it because of the whole thing of him never pinning Seth. He still hasn't. But I think we're looking at it from the wrong angle. We got 2 nights for this story to play out. What if Roman is the reason that they keep their tag belts? Or what if Roman is the reason that they lose the belts and his interference trying to help?
Ooh.
That's something you think about. So think scenario one, they keep their belts, but then when Roman's looking for them, they just all walk away from him. Leaves him by Cody by himself. Cody takes the tribal chief down alone. Now, Roman tries to help them and inadvertently causes Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to take the belts from him. And now they really don't have nothing to say to him. Oh, yeah, we got your back, Loose. Samoan Spike, big Samoan Splash. There you go, Cody. There's your tribal chief. Go ahead, take him down.
Or, I got another wrinkle. This is good. This is what we always try to do. We try to book the Mania stories, right? What if Reigns does cost the Usos the title trying to help? Now, so I can't. As fun as that is, it doesn't make any sense. Since when does Roman even help the Usos? That's not what he does.
No, he saved them. Think about it. He's come to save them. Remember, his music is hit. He's come down. He's come. Big Dog coming to save him. You know,
and then he beat him up afterwards.
He's kind of abusive a little bit like that.
Yeah, that's why I say he's going to inadvertently either cost them the titles or be the reason they keep him, so he can say, "I need you tomorrow. I needed you at your best. You kept your goal. Now it's time for me to defend mine."
I think Roman does probably cost the Usos their titles and tells them, "Well, you need to focus because you know why you're really here." And I think the Usos
that's to serve me.
I think the Usos and Solo will have an opportunity to help Roman, and I think they'll probably second guess. I don't think it's going to be a blatant turn. I think it's just going to be like a, man, he just cost us our titles, man. And then all of a sudden, in a moment of, you know what I mean, like, should we or shouldn't we? Go ahead.
I was saying, how important is 1,000 days? You think it's irrelevant?
Right. That's why I feel like now it's pointless because if we didn't have Cody Rhodes, 1,000 days would be important.
Easy.
But since we have Cody, and did y'all see that new shirt?
The one from WrestleMania 7?
Yes, with the flag and something about finish the story.
Mm-hmm.
They are capitalizing on.
That's why some people think of, there's sayings that people think he won't win it because of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
I don't think 1,000 days mean anything because I think you get more of a payoff from Cody era beginning, that Austin Shawn Michaels transition, right? Because we're going to transition from this heel to a baby face. Like it's going to be the Lex Express, as Brother Hugh said a couple of shows ago when he said Cody Rhodes they're going to finally get their All-American hero that they've been trying to have for a long time. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like this. It's like a professional wrestling archetype. You know what I mean? And
I tell you, they could have been booked themselves out of this with the Rumble. Cody could have just said, "I want the WWE Championship."
They could have.
He could have kept that Universal title for 1,000 days. He could have lost the WWE Championship, been distraught, gone away until SummerSlam, or whatever it may be.
Sammy was too hot. That's what disrupted everything.
You know what I'm saying? He could have just said, "I want the WWE," because Cody, since he's come back, what has he said? "I want the WWE Championship." He's made that bluntly clear. I'm back.
He's made that clear. Yep.
He won the Rumble, and they could have fixed it with one term and just said, "I want the WWE Championship."
But it goes
said,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
And now the whole rumbling that Triple H wants to create another title. You have two perfectly titles right there.
It goes back to what Brian H was saying. I don't know if it was last week on the show, but it's like, at what point do they need the titles in a situation, right? Like, this is like, they've kind of like made it very clear. Like, this has gone beyond the titles. Like, Cody Rhodes said, "No, this is personal. Like, I have to beat you. It's because the reality is you are the son my father always wanted. So now it's not about just winning the title. Yeah, that's what I'm here to do. But you've made it something more than originally than it was. So it's like, well, man, this is beyond the belts anyway."
That's this kid's part 2.
And when he said, "Don't say my father's name again," I said, "Oh yeah,
that was gold."
I said, "Oh, finally, Cody, finally."
Yeah, he's getting fired up, man. But I don't know, Brother Brandon. Do you want to? I saw your message. Are you trying to? Do you want to go ahead and present these now?
I mean, what do you want to talk about? That's why I said it like that.
Brian H, are you gonna make it?
It's crazy. This is like one of them days I woke up way too early, like 4 in the morning, 4:50 in the morning. I'm like, ain't time to get up yet, but I'm good. I'm good.
It's 1:00
Okay.
and he's still telling stories.
Listen, I think we're going to have a belt reveal. Impromptu, gentlemen. Now the brother Hughes in the mix.
Are you okay, Brian? Are you about to timestamp this?
Yeah, I'm gonna cut it off. Clip it off now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, look, not only do we have a surprise run-in from brother Hugh has the third himself, brother Brandon has been working on new custom championship titles for the Wrestling Realm. And this time he wanted to give us all tag titles, right? We're going to have all similar, as he says, similar yet different and distinct silhouettes that are the official Wrestling Realm World Tag Team Championships. If you are still with us, if you are still with us, ladies and gentlemen, I think brother Brandon, the guy, the new host, the new brand ambassador, the new CEO of Championship Culture, is about to unveil the brand new custom Wrestling Realm Tag Team Championship titles. Is that? Am I correct in assuming so, brother Brandon?
I think you hit all the nails on the head. I'm gonna talk through them as I reveal them. I just want to make sure we be able to capture the responses of the brothers throughout this time frame, because this is going to be a special thing. This took me about 3 months in the making. So without further ado, y'all ready?
Mhm.
Is there still people live? We still got people.
Yeah, it's they rocking and rolling with it, man. Here we go.
Excuse me.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Let me take off the glasses for this one.
Oh!
Whoa, my God.
Did you just say, "Oh my God," like that? So you notice the first difference is the center plate has different color backing, and I'm going to start. So each one, you can tell they all same style, same everything with slight differences, right?
Hey, go to solo joint, Brian H. Put
yeah.
Put us on the side.
Okay.
Nobody will see us no more.
So I'm trying to get them without the glare. Each one has a belt tip that identifies what we are. We're all proud wrestling fans. I don't know if you can see it that well. And then this side plate on this belt has a clear silver finish on it with no paint, with the Wrestling Realm Down logo on it. Center plate, same thing. It was inspired by like how the TNT title has that mirror finish on it. This one right here is a red backing for it. The globe is different. Wrestling Realm on the side plates with a red backing, but it's that Wrestling Realm logo. And on the belt tip of this one is another variation of Proud Wrestling Fan actually doing a move.
Wow.
Ooh.
I'll get the brothers a guess of whose belt this is, because each one belongs to a different member of the Wrestling Realm. This one has the classic original Wrestling Realm on the side.
Yes, sir. My bad.
Take on Proud Wrestling Fan.
Yes, it is.
And last but not least, this one has the Wrestling Realm logo.
Bro, that is clean.
So all of them are on red straps, and it's black backing on the back.
Oh, wow.
So,
bro.
Yeah.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, all four. So I'm gonna let the brothers try to guess which one belongs.
Yes, sir.
You got to flip your camera again. It's you vertical.
Oh shoot, my fault. All right.
There we go.
All right. So who do you think this belongs to?
I'm trying to think.
Hugh.
Yeah, that's for me right there.
But then it's all that red, huh?
So this belt was inspired for me because since I'm using the Wrestling Realm now, and it seems like now was a good time to get back into the Wrestling Realm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I gave that one away. What do you think this one is for?
Bro, just spill the beans. Like nobody knows
Right.
like your reasonings behind the stuff.
I was
The only one I know is probably the next one is probably realness.
So this
I would say that's me.
so this was inspired for Brian H. Waters,
Wow.
but this one was inspired for Dwayne.
Ugh,
Yeah,
look at that,
original.
bro.
Yep.
But I
Ooh.
know Dwayne likes red more than Brian, so
Nah, it's okay. Like if that was let Brian have the one that was inspired like that, either one, like
It don't matter.
Brian, which one you want? We're making these decisions on the air right now. Just
I
choose,
know.
choose whatever you want, Brian. It doesn't matter to me, man. These things are gorgeous. Like
but you can tell that one here because he made a
Yeah.
comment numerous times about, oh yeah, that's what I joined in.
That's right.
in year 10. Yeah.
That is
Wow.
true.
So,
Yeah.
Man, I'm at a loss for words.
so let me try to put them all together and get a different feel. So there'll be official pictures. This will be part of the intro for Championship Culture now that they've been revealed. I don't know if you know how hard it was to keep these quiet, but there you have it, ladies and
Wow.
gentlemen. Trying to get it without as many. Actually, see if I can try to make the light a little bit. I should have brought my ring down here.
Now we can see it.
Okay,
Yeah, you definitely can. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
there
buddy.
you have it. Y'all got any questions about it?
No,
I'm
I
at
got
a
a
loss for
comment.
words,
Thank
bro.
you.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Right.
Thank you, brother. You
Once-
talking about a brand expansion. You come with gifts. I knew we
Right.
made the right choice.
God dang.
So I will say this: each of them, if you notice, Brian, they all have a bird on them, and I don't know if you can tell what kind of bird it is. It's kind of like
Eagle?
this raven-ish,
Oh.
kind of just
how soon?
Oreo bird. It has some inspiration.
Ooh.
There's a globe in the middle of each of them, as you can
Mm.
tell. I think
Oh
that each
my
belt
gosh.
should have it. And I wanted to make sure y'all saw the details of the etching. This is 4mm ink. And one thing I will point out, every belt, I inverted the colors. So see how the tag team is in silver?
Mhm.
And there's a red banner behind it. So there's a banner on here, but the bulk of it is silver. And even in the center with a Wrestling Wrealm, how it's black background because I wanted the silver to show.
Wow.
Most belts do the exact opposite and would have filled it in, but I wanted to keep the clean, basic look on all the belts. So each one has the same concept. I don't know if you can see it. There's no glare on it, is it?
Mm-mm.
No. That's yeah.
Nah, that's clear as day, brother.
So each of them had that that says tag team champions. And of
Your
course,
boy Benjamin Walker said real nice belts.
he said what?
Real nice belts.
Thank you, sir. I can't wait till they out in public and people can see them. And there was an inspiration because I always liked the NWA television belt, that red strap and that silver.
Mm-hmm.
So
This show better go on Instagram.
all of the side plates had the same shape. They just have something different on them, as you can tell. So just want to make sure y'all got an in-depth look. And this will be probably a full belt review when it's time, but just want you to see the details. So the good thing about the side plates, everything on here is 4mm zinc, and the details are on there.
I feel like we had two shows in one tonight.
Right.
Like I was gonna say, you brought up WrestleMania and you said it compares to Christmas.
I mean, well,
So-
You
shit,
get WrestleMania gifts.
we could take
just wanted to
next
see-
week off if we need to. We got two shows.
I don't know if you can see the details.
Oh, we
Mhm.
see it.
She's
Oh, we see the
beautiful.
details.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
So the maker was very, very, very patient with me. Just the amount of details.
I'm laughing because I know how you are.
Um, If
I don't
anybody
want
doesn't
to.
know me, they always say I'm worried about the little small things, but
There's nothing wrong with that.
Bro, I
like
never
even
thought I
under
would
the
see.
now, look, you can even see WRE. So like
Right.
a small detail like that.
I never thought I would see the Wrestle Realm logos on championship belts, but goodness gracious, here we are.
I'm gonna break the fourth wall. The real Dwayne Allen said, "Look, all my dreams came true, but now more dreams coming."
Right. This is amazing.
So brothers, if I had a free hand, I would do the snap test, but they all work. They got
Oh, we know you done tried it before you even presented it.
it's a 5x10, I believe, snap box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I
5 by
wish we
8.
had the video from your house
Wow.
that day.
And I went with a basic tooling within here. Nothing fancy because I wanted the focus to be, it has basic clamshell tooling around it. But I wanted to make sure that the focus was on. I'm trying to get it so the light's not shining as much. But I think y'all get the deal. Right.
Yeah. Oh, we do.
Yep.
So there you have it.
I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told Dwayne, man. I'm turned on, bro.
I hate when he says that. I hate when he says that. All right. Any questions about the belt?
No.
You said that with too much confidence. He said no.
That was
Sorry, I
thorough.
gotta see my feet in there. My fault.
Man, you can put your feet where the heck you want to. Those are the new Wrestling Realm Tag Team Championships.
It is.
Wow.
When I look at it, it makes me feel like I gotta sign it.
Yeah.
Like you need to put your signature on this. Well, that's
Yeah, everybody signed everybody else's.
right. We could with a black Sharpie or even a silver Sharpie.
Hey, you know the right Sharpies to do it with.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Man, I'm speechless,
Oh,
man. Brother Brandon.
Yeah, he does it again, man.
You've done it again, sir. Such an amazing way to kick off championship culture. Now a part of the Wrestling Realm. Man, you are talented, brother. You have always gone up and above. You know what I mean? Look at that shoulder test. Look at that. You even got to do the shoulder test. I still have your title, by the way.
I know it's in good hands.
So, oh yes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait a minute. I got one thing, brothers. Let's just give it the true test. Hold on, give me 1 second.
He about to put it around his waist.
I was about to say, yeah, the big body, big frame.
But definitely, man. Man, I'm speechless, man. Like I said, thank you for everybody that kind of stuck around with us. I know we're going usually later than usual, but man, this is a special occasion. As I told him, brother, I don't know if you were here for that, man. I said, man, I got this problem. Every time I come, we go super late. Brian needs to get y'all in and out of church early. But
long-winded.
Yeah, I am. That's right. I need to stop talking, using so many words.
It's all good though. It's all good though.
Using so many words. Look at that. Look at that. Ugh.
I mean, do they work?
I mean, I think they more than work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Wait a
amazing.
minute, let me flip the camera around so y'all
Y'all
can see.
understand? I remember when Brother Brandon had like 3 or 4 belts. Because I used to always take pictures with his belts.
Wow. It's funny because I used to do the same thing. I used to do. What's yours?
Yep. Dylan. It's funny. Dylan a half hour ago said, "Look, I never been to a Wrestling Wrealm show where it was under 2 hours, and now
He fixed this.
Wow. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're gonna need pictures of those. We're gonna need exclusive video. We'll need all that.
I was already sitting here like, all right, so I'm gonna take this one to Hollywood.
So this is how they look.
Wow. That's amazing.
So the red letter a little. All right, I'm gonna shut up because y'all gonna say I'm being too nitpicky.
That red is clean.
Yeah, it is. It's pop.
But I'm
It's
glad
something-
he went with a brighter red for the silver. Than a
Something
darker
about
red.
having a different leather color.
It just screams at you, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you want to be a double
Pops.
champ,
It pops. Yeah.
well, I don't think they look too bad. What y'all think?
Not too shabby, brother. Not too shabby at all. Them things are absolutely gorgeous, man. Shout out to you, Brandon guy, who designed these titles, orchestrated the deals, got them here, made all the improvements, made all the changes. Man, it's only a portion of your talent and what you do, man. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for us, man. These are amazing gifts that you have blessed us with, man. I couldn't be more happy with your work, and if you can design belts for me any day of the week, brother. Look at that over the strap. Look at that over the shoulder. So, man, definitely round of applause for you, brother Brandon. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to keep you any longer.
Oh, wait a minute. Dylan's comment. He said, "Where do I get my first belt?" Dylan, we're going to talk. We're going to talk.
See, there we go. This is why we got him along, man. I'm definitely. I'm grateful again to have you a part of the brand and what you do and what you bring to the table, man. It's only up from here. Championship culture with the guy, Brandon guy himself, coming very soon to the Wrestling Wrealm platform. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, thank you and shout out to everybody that stuck around with us, man. We've gone beyond our normal limits. It's probably my fault again, but it's okay though, because WrestleMania is here and it's a very special occasion. So thank you all. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our Patreon, follow us on all social media platforms. And before you know it, I think we got one more week for WrestleMania. Until then, we will see you then. Peace.
Houston, we have a problem. Yes!